Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Shake it, but keep pointing out all the lies. Putting the scripture right in your eye. The Bible guy. He reads Hebrew and Greek and shows you that your book's not unique. The Bible guy. He turns through the pages until every Christian rages. The Bible guy. Watch one time and you're hooked. Now let's watch why the Christians get cooked. The Bible guy.
Hello, 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 everyone. Make sure that you're tapping that screen. Tap the screen like Jonathan wanted to tap King David. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you're liking the live, doing all the appropriate things, sharing it out. Let's have some interesting conversations today. What do you guys say? Mac G says, you have a theme song? Yep, we have a theme song now. Isn't that wonderful? Love that for us. I was listening to Taylor, and then I heard the legendary Duncan. Well, yeah, here we are now, everybody. So, coming at you live from Northeast Texas, it's The Bible Guy. I'm an atheist who doesn't believe in the Bible, yet I know the Bible better than most Christians. So, if you are a Christian and you think you have a good reason for me to believe in the Bible, call in. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if you're able to step up to the challenge and give the Bible Guy a reason to believe in the Bible. How are y'all doing today, everyone? Snow in Northeast Texas? Just kidding. Yeah, definitely not. There's definitely not going to be any snow up here. I mean, listen, I'm kind of here and there about snow because on the one hand, snow is really cool. It's cool to look at. On the other hand, as a Texan, my body is not acclimated to that kind of weather. By no means. I'm very much a person who likes to look at snow on a screen, if you know what I mean. Good enough. Let's fucking go. For the people on YouTube who are noticing the lag on the YouTube stream, just know that I'm going to be getting with Justin from the Deconstruction Zone soon in order to fix that lag. It might just be that I have shit internet, and that might be why, which is very much a possibility. So if you guys want to see, the end of that lag, and it happens to be because of the shit internet, make sure that you are watching all my videos. Get those views up means more, monetization, which means closer to me getting an apartment in town and not in the middle of the bumfuck nowhere. If you're in opposition on YouTube and you would like to come up and debate, I sent a link at the beginning of the live where you can just click on that link, take you to my page, and you come up and have a conversation with me. Your YouTube uploads don't reflect the lag, at least. They don't? Because I was editing a video just yesterday, which if you're a YouTube member will be up on Monday, and if you're not a member will be up next Friday. And there was hella lag in that video. Okay, our first guest for the day is I Am Steve. Steve, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask all my guests, irrespective of who they are. I'm sorry, 4 questions I ask all my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah, I'm 18, bro.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yeah. Why would I not be a Bible believer and not be here, bro?
We'll get to that in a second. Question number 3, how much of the Bible have you actually read?
Not that much.
All right, and then and then the final question is, what pronouns do you go by?
I go by he, him.
All right, Steve, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible Guy. I do not believe in the Bible. Steve, why should I believe in the Bible?
Because God loves you so much, he will burn you for eternity, and he supports slavery.
You're a troll, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll keep the stack. Kick me.
All right. I mean, that would have been the first time that a Christian has ever been honest about what the Bible says, at least, if it were a Christian. But no, we don't want to talk to any trolls today. Just want to talk to honest to Yahweh. honest to God, actual believers in the Bible. So if you're a believer in the Bible and you think you have a good reason for me to believe in your holy book, come up. Let's have that conversation. I don't know where Ashlyn is. She might have forgotten what time it is. But I guess I'll just read our first super chat for the day with @Kevin Smith with the $5 saying, I'm in Palestine. We should meet up sometime. And for anyone who doesn't know, not Palestine in the Middle East. There's a town here in Texas called Palestine, Texas. Yeah, which is really funny. I wonder if what the people of Palestine, Texas think about the whole Free Palestine thing. For a people that don't believe in the God, y'all sure do talk about him a lot. Hey, Chris, I wouldn't have to talk about him all that much if, people weren't imposing their archaic Iron Age, ancient Near Eastern morals upon a modern day people. Like the fact, we have another guest, Jordan. Jordan, like the river. I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions that I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yeah.
Question number 3, how much of your Bible have you actually read?
98%.
And then question number 4, what are your pronouns?
He, him.
All right, Jordan, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. Tell me, why should I believe that the Bible is true?
I think a good way to do it is to pray and seek him, call out to God in prayer and see, until he answers. Pretty much.
And if I've done that and nothing happened, now what?
You gotta try again.
So just keep talking to someone that might not be there until either it turns out he is real, he does talk to me, or I just end up convincing myself, brainwashing myself into believing it's true. Is that where we're going with, really?
I would say try like 15 minutes.
Dude, I used to pray for hours every single day when I was a Christian.
So then 15 minutes should be easy.
What's the point? He hasn't shown. I've literally put in, probably well over hundreds of hours in prayer time. God hasn't revealed himself to me. So obviously that's not a mechanism by which God is going to reveal himself to me or reveal that the Bible is true.
So you cannot and will never do 15 more minutes of prayer.
Why would I? How often do you pray to people that don't exist?
Never.
And would you ever engage in it? Or would it just be a huge waste of your time?
No, I would pray to Jesus though.
Yeah, why? Why would I? It doesn't seem like Jesus is a corpse. Why would I pray to a corpse?
It's pretty famous. I mean, you don't know he's a corpse.
Yeah,
but
I mean, all the data seems to support the fact that he is a corpse. Literally every single person that's ever died has stayed dead. And we have no evidence, no good reason to think he ever rose from the dead.
Well, when I first heard about Jesus and I heard somebody encouraging me to pray, there's a guy on, I don't agree with everything he said, but I think his YouTube channel is Warning the People, and he has some really good videos about prayer and
But I have prayed before, and Jesus didn't reveal himself to me.
Yeah, but you're done? You just gave up? I was so curious. I wanted to know.
After hundreds of hours of earnestly praying, yes. If you do something for hundreds of hours and it doesn't produce any results, I think it's time to call it quits, don't you?
Depends on the situation. So for those hundreds of hours, were you unaware of the slavery in the Bible? How long were you a Christian?
I was a Christian up until for well over 20 years.
And that whole time you'd never heard of the genocide or the slavery?
I did. I did this the same poor apologetics that most Christians do in order to excuse it. It wasn't until I grew a moral conscience that I decided, well, I really just can't uphold any of it.
Took you 20 years for that?
Yeah. Most children don't think about why they believe what they believe. So again, Jordan, enough about me and my personal life. Jordan, why should I believe the Bible is true? Prayer is not the answer.
Okay, you're not gonna pray. That's fine. It's only 15 minutes. It's fine. We can go to the next one. Um, well, I don't know. I like the prophecy discussion. I think the prophecies are coming true for sure. I think it's
Can
pretty
you
obvious.
list me an actual prophecy that's coming true?
Yeah, the image of the beast is probably the best one. Have you heard of that? It's in Revelation 13:15.
Yeah, Nero. Revelation 13 is about the Roman
No,
Empire and
Nero's not in
Nero.
the Bible anywhere. He's not mentioned at all.
Yeah, he is. 666. That's a reference
But
to Nero.
Revelation 13:15. Pardon?
666 is a reference to Nero Caesar.
Well, that's your opinion,
Well,
right?
it's a consensus of the scholarship. Like literally, what does Nero Caesar's name equal in Gematria?
I don't know. Is it 666?
666. Which is funny because in the Latin, some of the Latin manuscripts of the Book of Revelation, it's 616. That's because there's an alternate spelling of Nero Caesar, which equals out to 616. No, the beast of Revelation 13 is meant to be like the ancient pagan Roman Empire. It's not referencing anything in our modern day.
Well, you disagree with Irenaeus. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, I disagree with the church fathers all the time. Like, why should I give a shit about the church
Okay.
fathers? They lived after the time of the New Testament. They're doing what you're doing. They're recontextualizing failed prophecy in order to make it make it suitable for their time period.
Okay, but do you know what the image of the beast is?
Yeah, it's the image of Caesar on the coins.
No, the verse in the Bible. Have you ever read it?
Yeah.
Revelation 13,
I've
15?
read the book, dude. When I was a Christian, I was obsessed with the Book of Revelation.
Okay, what does the verse say?
Yeah, it says that the false prophet set up an image of the beast, and that all people would worship the image of the beast.
You're missing a very key part of the passage.
That the image would speak.
Nope.
What part am I missing? I don't have Revelation 13 memorized.
So, the second beast, the false prophet, gives breath to an image so that it can speak. So John is witnessing a vision of the future, and he sees
Yeah, this is
the second beast.
probably a reference to the Caesar cult, which is like basically like propagating the worship of Nero Caesar and the rest of
No,
the
it's
Caesars.
Elon Musk and AI, bro. They're giving breath to. Have you seen the Grok companions?
Does
They have
Grok
interactive AI avatars
does Grok
right now.
breathe?
No, but it speaks. It appears lifelike. The Grok companion avatars, they're talking interactive AI avatars.
Dude, what does the Book of Revelation tell
This
us at the very
is not
beginning?
real.
What at the very beginning of the book? What does it say? It gives us the time frame for when these things are supposed to happen.
It says write what is now, write what has been, what is now, and
the
what
first
will come.
the first few verses of the book. The revelation of Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
which he gave to his servants to show them what?
What will shortly take place?
What will
I think,
shortly
right?
come to pass. Not 2,000 years in the future. The author of Revelation is writing the book of Revelation as propaganda against the pagan Roman Empire, and it's meant to bring hope to the Christians who are suffering under Roman persecution, to make them believe that Jesus is going to soon return. He believes that the things that he's writing about will shortly come to pass. If shortly come to pass doesn't
Wait, what
actually
verse are
mean-
you talking about?
the first few verses of Revelation chapter 1, verses 1 through 2.
It says, "Take heart what is written, because the time is near." Oh, what must soon take place? Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
If
I
soon
mean,
doesn't mean soon, then
the churches were real.
if soon doesn't mean soon, then it's
The churches were real.
yeah, sure, the churches are
Go ahead.
real. The author is writing to a real church that he's attempting to console about their persecution under the Roman Empire. And if the word soon doesn't actually mean soon, then words don't have meaning, and it's pointless for God to even say that word.
No, well, it's soon for everybody. I mean, the human life is only like max, what, 90, 100 years, right? It's soon for everybody. And they're all
2,000
gonna
2,000
rise.
years from the writing of Revelation isn't soon.
Well, for them, it's a blink of an eye.
Well, no, I don't.
For believers, it's the blink of
It's
an eye.
not a blink of an eye. I don't know. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave him to show his servants, was must soon take place. This has no meaning if by soon The author means 2,000 years. It's a completely useless waste of words to tell human beings soon this is going to happen when it actually doesn't mean soon.
I think it makes total sense. I mean, if the world is about to end within 90 years, you're going to witness the most apocalyptic,
But
world-changing
did the
events.
world end in 90 years from when John wrote that book?
You're not hearing. For everybody, the apocalypse is a maximum of like 90 years away,
No, it's not.
right?
Was it 90
Yes,
years
it
away?
is.
Was it 90 years away for the author of the book of Revelation?
Yeah, because he died, and then he's gonna rise at the end.
No,
So boom.
that's not the apocalypse. It's not death is not the apocalypse. The apocalypse is the revelation of Jesus to the world. Every eye will see him, even those who pierced him, says John in Revelation. That didn't happen. It didn't.
But they're resurrected.
No one's resurrected.
Right?
No one's resurrected.
All believers in the book of Revelation will be resurrected.
That hasn't
And
happened.
so from their perspective, it's only 90 years away. Because they'll be resurrected at the apocalypse, and then
No, it's not just
Boom, they're
the book
witnessing
of
it.
Revelation isn't just about, because I guess you hold to the idea of soul sleep and they immediately die and then they're immediately resurrected or whatever bullshit you want to believe.
Yeah.
But no, the revelation of Jesus Christ is what must soon come to pass. Was Jesus revealed to all the world for every eye to see in a short span of time?
yeah, it's only 90 years away.
No, it's not 90
everybody.
years away, you dunce.
How long are you gonna live?
I don't care how long I've lived. The question is, how long after the book of Revelation was written was Jesus revealed to the whole
There's so
world?
many other ways you can look at it too. Like
I know
I
if
don't want to
you-
get
if you-
bogged down
yeah, if
on
you-
this. It's
yes,
like
if
you're
you
trying to run away from the image
no,
of the
if you
beast 'cause
squint
it's so
your if you
obvious.
squint your eye, no, because here's the thing, the image of the beast cannot be about Elon Musk because Elon Musk lived 2,000 years after the book of Revelation was written, and the things in the book of Revelation are the things which must shortly come to pass. 2,000 years is not shortly come to pass.
That on your time frame, we're talking. Comes from God.
Then the
Jordan,
word doesn't have a meaning. It's meaningless.
feels this feels very much like a square peg in a round hole kind of ordeal for you, Jordan.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you just read Revelation 13:15, it's so obvious.
It's so
that
obvious that's
John
about
witnessed
Caesar. Yes.
AI. John
No,
witnessed.
it's so
AI.
obvious that John is writing about the Caesars. I agree. It's so obvious. Now, it's not obvious it's talking about AI because, again, the context of Revelation is that these are about the things which must shortly come to pass. AI, unless you're just going to do the standard Christian thing of words don't mean words, I'm going to take shortly come to pass to mean that from the author intended for the prophecies to come about very soon, and they did not.
Well, I think it's clear. Like Irenaeus, for example, also wrote that the Lord is going to return for the last millennium.
Sure,
Right,
that's
so,
what
again, your
that's
interpretation-
Irenaeus coping with the fact that Revelation's words didn't come to pass. The Jewish people did the same thing to the book of Daniel. When Daniel's prophecy didn't come about in the appropriate time, they recontextualized and renegotiated with the text so that by the time you get to the 1st century CE with Jesus, they're already recontextualizing Daniel to be about their time. Irenaeus is doing the same thing. He's just coping with the fact that the prophecy didn't come to pass the way the book said so.
And well, Peter says the same thing. He says a day with the Lord is like 1,000
Well,
years.
not
and then he
Peter.
says-
It's Second Peter's not written by Peter. But besides that, and this is a second century work. Beyond that, that's just him again coping with the fact that despite the fact that Jesus said to his disciples that there are some standing here who will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom, that didn't come to pass. So the author of Second Peter is having to cope with the fact that things are not like being fulfilled the way that they were supposed to. He has to start saying things like, well, with God, a year is like 1,000 years is like a day. And that's his way of dealing with the failed prophecy. And you're doing the same thing.
I don't think it's failed. I think, it lines up perfectly. The fact that we're approaching the 6,000th year.
We're not. So
And Israel is reborn as a nation. At the same time, we have like an AI
the
supervillain
modern
taking.
Israel has nothing to do with Israel of the Bible. I don't know if you know that.
Of course it does.
There's no such thing as there's no democracy of Israel, the state of Israel in the Bible.
It says they'll be regathered to their land.
Okay, well,
Ezekiel.
where do the majority of Jewish people live?
For a
Not,
long time, not in Israel.
they still don't. The majority of Jews do not live in Israel today.
Right.
So they're not
Right, but they're
regathered.
being regathered.
No, they're
They're
not.
being regathered about 2 millennia after Jesus. It's like
Fun
perfect timing.
fact, I know plenty of Jewish people who have no intention of moving to the land of Israel. So until it actually does come to pass and all the Jews are returned to their Holy Land, not a fulfilled prophecy. Also, again, democracy of Israel, not in the Bible. The reconstituted Israel of prophecy is a monarchy led by the Messiah that live according to Torah law, and where all the Jewish people live with the temple and all that kind of stuff. None of that's come to pass. The state of Israel is a human-made entity and is completely unrelated to the Israel of prophecy.
I mean, it so obviously is part of prophecy
so obviously
to me.
isn't.
Like, you can deny
Sure, to
it
you,
if you want.
to you because you
Yeah.
want it to be true,
And millions of people.
but it doesn't match the Israel of the Bible. Like, is the Israel of prophecy not a Torah-based community?
No, it's a genetic thing, I think.
No,
The
they
descendants of Jacob.
No, they keep Torah. It says in the Isaiah chapter 2 that the Torah will go forth from Jerusalem and the word of the Lord from Mount Zion, and that all the nations will stream to it to learn the Torah. Is that what's happening? No.
Not yet. I mean, Jerusalem wasn't built in a day.
In other words,
But-
not a fulfilled prophecy. Is the Israel of prophecy a democracy or a monarchy?
Monarchy for sure.
Is the modern state of Israel a monarchy?
No.
Okay, so what we got so far is Jewish people have not all been returned to the Holy Land. It's not a monarchy, and they don't live according to Torah. It doesn't look like the state of Israel has anything to do with the Israel of prophecy. Here's my question to you: the people who created the state of Israel, were they aware of what the prophets wrote?
Some of them, I'm sure, yeah.
And they actively worked to make the state of Israel a real thing, didn't they?
Well, yeah, they've been trying to go back for 2,000 years.
If a Jewish man knows that the prophets say, for example, oh, the Messiah is supposed to do X, Y, and Z, and he actively works to make it happen, is that really all that significant, or is this just a human attempt, and a half-assed attempt at that, because it doesn't fulfill the prophecies, to do what the prophets say? Thank you for the glasses.
I think it's God. I mean, you know, the
But it
creation
isn't.
of the nation of Israel.
It's a human invention. It was humans that established the state
God
of Israel.
used Cyrus. He was a human.
Yeah,
God
but
used Cyrus to build the second
you think
temple.
that if God was behind the state of Israel, he would have been successful in doing the things that the prophecies say that he was going to do. He wouldn't have created a democracy of Israel. He would have ingathered the exiles. He would have had the temple reconstituted with the Levites. Instead, we get this democracy, which has unconnected, that commits genocides on people and is a horrible place.
So it says, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I will take the Israel, this is Ezekiel 37, verse 21. I will take the Israelites out of the nations where they have gone.
Which hasn't
I will
happened.
gather them from all around and bring them back
Which
into
hasn't
their own
happened.
land.
Which hasn't happened. The majority of Jews don't live in Israel.
There's a lot of them returning, though.
Well, guess
Since,
what?
like,
well,
for
guess
like
what?
for like 100 years.
Well, until all of them are returned, guess what? Not fulfilled prophecy, and not even the majority of them live in Israel. This is again, maybe God's lazy, or maybe this is just humans attempting to do what prophecy declares would happen. But it's a half-assed fulfillment, not a full fulfillment. No, I reject that. The state of Israel is not a good reason to believe the Bible is true.
There's so many things coinciding. Like, it must be really sad because you really have no idea, like,
You
what's
really
going
have no
on
idea
in the
what's written in
world.
the Bible. Is the problem. I'm probably more aware of what's happening in the world than you do. You probably turn a blind eye to the genocide that Israel is committing. But no, I'm
Just like you
I'm-
turn a
I'm-
blind eye to abortion, right?
abortion. The Bible has nothing against abortion.
Right.
Nothing in the Bible that says anything about abortion.
So Israel should take them to Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, there's nothing in the Bible
you-
And
against
it's
it.
fine.
And if you're talking like about, wait, for or against? Jordan, what's your?
No, we're talking about turning a blind eye to things.
The
Yeah,
Bible
wow.
Yeah.
there's
Pointed out.
there's nothing to turn a blind eye to because the Bible doesn't have a problem with abortions. It never once speaks against it.
Okay, sure.
Could you demonstrate
Yeah,
otherwise?
I mean, I'm not saying Israel's perfect yet.
no, no,
Obviously,
no.
there's a lot
There's nothing.
unfulfilled,
There's
but
nothing. But there's nothing wrong with abortions according to the Bible.
sure. I mean,
Do you-
do we
do you have any-
really,
do you have any
really want to
counter-
argue that?
Do you have any counterpoints?
Yeah, thou shalt not murder.
Well, thou shalt not murder is presupposing that the Bible considers the termination of a fetus murder. Can you demonstrate that to be true? Here's a question for you. Let me walk you through this to help you think a little bit. According to the Pentateuch, the Torah of Moses, what is the punishment for murder?
Murder? Or death? I don't know.
Yeah, the capital punishment. Now, according to the Torah, what is the penalty for performing an action that results in the death of a fetus?
Death?
No, you don't get killed for performing an action that results in the termination of a fetus. You only have to pay a fine, according to Exodus 21. Why is that? If killing a fetus is murder, why do you only have to pay a fine?
What verse is that? Exodus 21?
Yep, Exodus chapter 21. Verse, when people who are fighting injure a pregnant woman. Here, I'll just pull up the verse right here for everyone to read. It says here, when people who are fighting injure a pregnant woman so that there is a miscarriage and yet no further harm follows, the one responsible shall be fined what the woman's husband demands, paying as much as the judge determines. Not capital punishment, just paying a fine. Why is that?
Read the next verse.
If any harm follows, meaning harm to who? Harm to who?
The baby.
No, because the baby's miscarried. It says, listen, so that there is a miscarriage and yet no further harm follows. The harm that follows is not to the fetus because the fetus is dead. The harm that follows refers to the woman. If there's harm that follows the
Whoa,
woman,
why would you assume the fetus is dead?
Because it says here that she miscarried. What is a miscarriage?
Well, my translation says premature birth.
What translation are you using?
NIV.
Oh, that explains it.
NLT. NLT also.
NLT, NIV, horrible translations. I would suggest something more academic like the New Revised Standard Version. But no, the word here is...
KJV.
No, not the KJV. The New Revised Standard Version, updated edition, correctly translates this word as to miscarriage. And yet no further harm follows. The one responsible shall be fined what the woman's husband demands. So if any harm follows the woman, then you shall give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. Do you know why this was the standard of the Israelites? Why the death of a fetus is not considered murder, but harm to a woman is?
I think you're absolutely butchering the interpretation of this passage.
I think you're using a shit translation that is obviously
multiple apparently.
Yeah. Your Bible
And the KJV. Did you?
Yeah,
read
the
that
KJV is a horrible
Jordan,
translation.
Have you ever read the preface or the preface of NIV? They actually admit to their bias. I have an
NLT?
Same with the NLT.
I'm sure they have one. Yeah, so if you actually go to the beginning of every Bible, it actually tells you what's going on. I had the pleasure of going through my NIV and highlighting, and I actually sent this to Dalton as well. But if you look at the beginning of it, under the section textual basis, and then what other? Yeah, it's textual basis. It tells you what it's being used for. In fact, at the very beginning, where is it again? It says they were from many. Where's the other one? I sent this to you a while ago, Dalton. I don't. It's for evangelical aspects, but it tells you that it's like it doesn't use the scrolls, the oldest manuscripts, because they find them corrupt, and that's under textual basis.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Translations like the New Living Translation or the NIV are created by specific groups within Christendom who from all over, and even Jewish people coming from all over, who come together to create a more apt translation has less bias, because you have multiple different people fact checking each other. That's why it's the New Revised Standard Version Updated Edition is the academic standard.
Right. So I'm comparing like probably I think 10 translations here, and the only one that says miscarriage is yours. So I guess all of these other scholars, they all got it wrong.
The New Revised Standard Version and the Revised Standard Version. I bet you the JPS Bible also would say miscarriage too, because it's an actual scholarly word.
Yeah. So
Let's see.
Okay,
JPS Exodus 21. Let's see.
Dalton,
Yeah.
in the NIV it says, or she has a miscarriage. It's in the footnotes.
Ah, it's in the footnotes. Of course it is. They were at least a little bit honest, weren't they?
So yeah, Jordan, your own text does say this, if you've actually ever looked at it.
well, I mean, it depends how you define miscarriage. I mean, and no, the fact that
It's
it's
the death of a
harm
fetus.
follows.
It's the death of a fetus. And
Exactly.
you know how we know this, by the way? What was the standard for the Israelites as to who was considered a living soul? What was required in order to be considered a living soul? Surely you've read Genesis and you know the answer.
Well, what is it? Jacob and Esau. It said that there's two nations in her womb, and they were fighting,
Yeah,
and John the Baptist leapt in the womb, right? So
That's great. That doesn't tell me whether or not they're considered living souls, though. What does Genesis say about when someone is considered a living soul? Come on. You know this.
I know you're gonna say that it starts at the breath, right? But babies have oxygen. So
no. Well, no. First and foremost, ancient Israelites wouldn't have known that. Secondly, for the ancient Israelites, the standard of who was considered a living soul is
wouldn't kill
who
their
has
babies either.
first breath, which is why abortions within ancient Israel were not considered morally, were not problematic until the baby takes first breath. Like if the baby's coming out of the womb head first, and it breathes, you're not allowed to kill it at that point. If it comes out the other end and it still hasn't breathed yet, completely fine according to Jewish law, because it was the Greeks who held to the idea that at the quickening, there were three views among the Greeks, one of which was shared with the Israelites. The three views of the Greeks was, one, that life began at conception, and two, that life began at the quickening, in other words, when the fetus began to move in the womb, and the third view was life began when first breath took place, which was the position of the Jewish people. We even see that in both the Hebrew Bible and the Talmud. Now, as a result, because the Hebrew Bible standard for who is considered a living soul is an individual who takes first breath, the Hebrew Bible, when it says "thou shalt not murder," doesn't constitute the death of a fetus does not constitute murder. Now, you can quibble about that all day long if you want, but simply point, the data is just not going to support your position that abortion's wrong according to the Bible.
Since we're on this, Dalton, do you want to explain to that, like, technically, potentially, Numbers 5:11, she could be pregnant, but although it's not a prescription for AB.
Yeah, I don't want to confuse anyone with that, because I mean that text doesn't say anything about her being pregnant at the time.
Yeah.
But if she is, I mean, it just results in her womb shriveling and she's incapable of producing any offspring in the future.
Yeah. No, someone just had mentioned that in a comment, and I just wanted to touch on it
to
really
everyone
fast.
who wants to know, Numbers 5 is not an abortion potion. It's a potion, a magical potion in order to make the woman infertile, is what it is. But anyways, I don't think you're going to be... So far, you've yet to give me a good reason to believe that the Bible is true. You've given me half-assed prophecies and demonstrated that you don't really know that much about, like, the Bible in and of itself. So do you have anything better for us?
well, you ran from the image of the beast. I think.
Well,
that's
no,
a
I
great
didn't.
one.
I actually...
Why don't you bring that verse up and we can all read it?
Yeah, I actually expressly demonstrated that it can't be about about Elon Musk for 2 reasons. I give you 2 reasons. What were the 2 reasons? Let's see if you remember the conversation.
Because it's about Nero,
But why did
and
I
because
think
it
it's about
says
Nero?
soon. Because
Why?
it says what soon must take place.
Yeah, why did I say it's about Nero? Were you listening?
Because his name is 666 in gematria. I've heard that like 10
Uh-huh.
million times. Bro.
And also, what does the Latin text of Revelation say? The translations, and why does that help us understand that it's about Caesar?
I love. Have you ever read Revelation 9:11 in the Latin? Sorry, side quest. I don't know what the Latin says for whatever verse you're talking about.
616. Why is it that there are multiple different versions of the number of the beast? Some 666 and some 616. Why is that?
I don't know. It's kind of sus.
Could it be that there are 2 different spellings for Nero Caesar's name in Hebrew? One is Neron Kaiser, one's Nero Kaiser. The
But
difference.
you're not going to bring up the verse on the screen.
Fine, we'll bring up the verse if you're so horny for it, we'll just go ahead and read it. It's not going to get
It's
you
so
to
good.
it's not going to get you to Elon Musk, but fine, we'll read it because again, I'm just going to bring up to you the same thing I've already brought up to you. Let's see.
15.
Then I saw another beast which rose out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb. It spoke like a dragon. It exercises all authority of the first beast in its presence and makes the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast whose mortal wound was healed. First and foremost, no one's worshiping Elon Musk. It works great signs, even making fire come down from heaven to earth in the sight of men. And by the signs which it is allowed to work in the presence of the beast, it deceives those who dwell on the earth, bidding them make an image for the beast, which was wounded by the sword and yet lived. This doesn't bear any resemblance to Elon Musk whatsoever. And it
That's
was
Trump and Elon.
Oh,
There's 2
God.
beasts.
Oh God.
You'll see, bro. I'm telling you.
Do people? I'm not gonna go. Fuck it. Anyways, also it causes all both.
You skipped
small-
it. You skipped
Oh,
the
it was
one verse I
allowed
wanted
to
you
give
read.
breath to the image of the beast, so that the image of the beast should even speak, and it caused those who would not worship the image of the beast to be slain. Also, it
Terminator.
causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand and forehead. That's not happening. So that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark. That's also, you don't grok. I can buy stuff without grok. That is the name of the beast or the number of its name. What's the name of the beast?
Trump.
How does Trump equals 666?
I don't know, but I'm kind of loving that he doesn't like Trump, though.
Yeah.
How does his name? I mean, okay. There's a lot of weird 666 stuff with Trump.
How do you do it?
If you add up the gematria for his name in Hebrew, if you add up the ordinal,
do you know this for sure, or are you just making this up on the spot?
no, I can find it. There's a
Donald
post on Twitter about it.
Trump in Hebrew.
You have to. It's a weird sum, but it's the 666 is about more than just gematria. It's about
No, it's about
gold.
It's about no, it's not. It's about gematria. It's the number of a name. When you talk about names having numbers, according to them, this is gematria.
It's about carbon.
No.
6 protons, 6
Nope.
neutrons.
Nope. They don't know about. They don't
6
make,
electrons.
Don't make shit up. Don't make shit up. It's not about carbon, you dunce. We're all made of carbon. We don't have the mark of the beast implanted in our bodies. That's a silly thing to say. Now, again, 666 does equal Nero Caesar. 616 also equals Nero Caesar. And again, the book of Revelation tells us that these are about things which must shortly come to pass. I've already refuted this. This is not a good reason for me or any one of my guests or any of my audience to believe the Bible is true. If anything, it just demonstrates that the author was just making shit up.
I mean, there's so many. I could talk for hours about 666. It's crazy.
sure
I mean,
you
the
could,
DNA
but
manipulate. Carbon is the backbone of
sure,
DNA.
I'm sure you could talk for hours. We all have carbon in us, you idiot. I have carbon in me. You have carbon in me.
Yeah, but they're doing DNA manipulation.
Shut up. If you're a biological organism, you have carbon in you. Do we all have 666 in us? Are we all damned automatically
Not
for
yet.
being biological organisms?
DNA
Why not?
manipulation.
Why not? Because I have carbon in me.
Because right now you have like the OG code, but they're going to manipulate your genetic
Carbon.
code.
What does that even mean? What does that? Carbon doesn't have a
mRNA.
code. You're just saying things you don't understand
The
anything about.
backbone of human DNA.
Okay, shut up. You don't know anything about biology. Stop making shit up here. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You've yet to give me
Dude,
a good reason that the book
have
of
you heard of the
Revelation is.
loose- Okay.
I don't give a shit. I don't. Again, the book of Revelation is about things which must shortly come to pass. These are things which take place 2,000 years later. The only way you can make this about things which must shortly come to pass is if words no longer mean words. You're asking me to forget the meaning of words in order to hold up your dogma that you want to hold to. It's no wonder that the early church struggled with the canonization of the book of Revelation, because it's so obviously not true. Do you have anything better that brings us to the belief that the Bible is true? Because this is all not doing it for me, dude.
What's written in the book of Revelation did take place
It didn't.
instantly because the
It
churches were real churches that
didn't.
existed,
It didn't.
and they spread
It didn't.
Christianity across the
It
entire
didn't.
Western world. So we've been living
It didn't.
in the last days.
When did Jesus appear to everyone? 2,000 years ago? When was that?
Well, that part's not fulfilled yet, but
No.
a lot of
well,
what's
no.
written-
The book says that these are the things which must shortly come to pass. See, I'm coming soon, and my reward is with me. That didn't happen. But of course, you don't think that soon means soon.
Well, we already went over all this.
Yeah,
you know.
you don't think words mean words. That's the problem here. I think words mean what they mean.
I don't think
You don't think that they mean.
I
what
think
they
the early
mean.
church. I just think Irenaeus is more trustworthy than
You
you.
think that-
I think the early church.
No, they're
knew
not.
more about the book than you.
No, they're not. Irenaeus is not more trustworthy than me. Irenaeus is an individual who is driven by dogma. I'm driven by what does the data preclude us to believe? I don't give a shit what
The data's there's gonna be an AI god, bro.
No, there's
That's
not.
What the data shows.
No, there's not. So far, if you seem to really want to stick to this point, if this is your only good reason for me to believe the Bible is true, it's not a good reason. I'm not convinced. You don't understand the book of Revelation. You like to make things up about what words mean. This is not a good argument in favor of your Bible being true. Do you have anything better than this? Or is this the best you got?
Aliens.
Oh God. There are no aliens in the Bible. And I
They-
don't
the
believe in
fallen
aliens.
angels. In Revelation 12:9, the fallen angels are cast down to earth.
Wow, great bit of mythology. I don't believe that aliens exist. Or at least I don't believe aliens have visited Earth.
Jordan,
Well, you
what
disagree
shape
with
is
the
the
government.
Earth?
No, I don't.
I don't know.
You don't know what the shape of the Earth is?
Oh my
At first,
God.
I thought you
I
seemed
would guess
reasonable.
sphere.
Someone told me
I
to
have
ask
no
that. I was like,
idea.
nah. No. Okay. Okay.
I would say probably
I-
a sphere because the moon is a sphere.
So if the Bible says it's not a sphere, what are you going to do? You're just going to believe the
doesn't.
Bible and don't you?
It doesn't say the shape of the earth.
Sure it does. Do you? Oh, here, before I bring up this Bible verse, we're going to test your knowledge.
Why are you
on-
switching
yeah,
to
on-
flat earth from aliens?
because first and foremost, you're not a trustworthy individual to tell me what the government says or believes. You don't know the Bible. You don't know science. You're a very untrustworthy individual. Now, I'm just seeing whether or not you're the kind of person who's willing to like let the data sway him, or if you're like the kind of person who's like, oh, if the Bible says X, Y, and Z, then it has to be true no matter what. Which one of those people are you?
I believe the Bible for sure, 100%.
So if the Bible says the Earth's flat, you're gonna be a flat earther.
Yeah, but it
I'm
doesn't.
disappointed in you. Do you know the difference between a circle and a sphere?
Yeah.
Let's test that. What's the difference? Did you pass kindergarten? What's the difference?
One is 3D,
And the other is
2D.
okay. When Isaiah describes the shape of the earth, what word does he use? Circle or sphere?
Neither.
Incorrect. Isaiah
I
40.
mean, you spoke English?
Isaiah, no. Okay. Did he use the word door, which means sphere, or did he use the Hebrew word chug, which means circle?
I don't know. What verse are you talking about?
Isaiah 40, verse 22. I love how he wants to quibble about the Hebrew, but I know for a fact he doesn't know Hebrew.
Does
Everyone.
above the circle of the earth
Ah.
in my translation.
Well, for once, your translation's correct. It is in fact
Circle.
it is in fact circle. Isaiah 40 verse 22. Hayoshev al kul haaretz. He sits upon the circle of the earth. Is the earth a sphere or a circle?
No, I would say both. It looks like a circle if you're up in the sky, right?
No, it doesn't.
I mean, you take everything literally. Do you think God is a literal rock?
No, but why? It's not. It doesn't say God is a rock. That he got.
Well, it looks like a circle, right?
No, it doesn't. The earth never looks like a circle.
Okay. The moon doesn't look circular. Okay.
No, it looks spherical. If you look at the earth, if you look at,
Okay.
if you look at the moon, you can see it has depth. You can see the shadow curving on it. You can see the craters that wrap around it. It has depth. Unless you have only one eye and you don't have depth perception, the rest of us can tell that spheres are spheres, even when looking straight at them.
Yeah, okay. You debunked it, bro. You did it. Congratulations. I'm gonna be an atheist now. Thank you.
I don't think
Like,
you're-
you know,
I don't think
like,
you're
is
intellect-
that-
I don't
is
think
that,
you're
like, you know,
I don't think you're intellectually honest enough to be an atheist. I think that you're just
you're
willing
like
to.
you're so desperate to like find contradictions.
No, it's not desperate.
You're
You're desperate.
completely
No,
unwilling.
you're so desperate to try and like renegotiate the Bible in order to get away from the contradictions. Everyone, can I get some baby bottles in the comment section for this guest? Anyways, no, I'm not desperate. Like, the contradictions are just there. All you have to do is read the Bible for what it plainly says, and they're there. You don't have to be desperate. The only desperate people are the people who are committed to their dogma and have to bend themselves into pretzels and bend over backwards and say that words don't mean words, and to ignore verses in order to establish their dogma. But we're not willing to do that here. We take the Bible for what it plainly says, not what it literally says. What it plainly says. That seems to be a huge problem with Christians. They don't know the difference between plainness and literalness. So, you got anything for us before we move on to the next guest? Because this has been a big nothing burger, this whole conversation.
Yeah, I think, you know, when it comes to like complaining about like what God does with his own creation, I think you should
I
respect
don't
his
think
rights.
God. I don't think God does
first
anything
and
with
foremost.
creation because Yahweh doesn't exist.
Well, you guys complain about like why does God, you know, flood the earth or whatever, right?
Have I said
Why
that?
would he do that?
Have I said that? Don't.
So
You're
you
not.
don't
You're not.
mind? You
You're
don't care
not
about-
debating
you're
other.
okay with the flood then?
You're not debating other people. You're debating me. I don't think God
So
ever.
you're
did,
fine with the flood.
I don't think God ever did jack shit because he doesn't exist.
Jordan,
Well,
it
hypothetically.
wouldn't even fucking matter because like if you make a child, it doesn't mean you can do whatever you want with that child. That child has autonomy. It's kind of gross that you're up here defending an all-powerful, all-knowing being that you actually think exists for doing evil shit.
And also,
Well, he's just doing
theodicies.
what you guys do.
Theodicies are not the reason I don't believe in the Bible. Theodicies could be very much true, and your God could just be evil. Like the flood could have happened. Your God's just a prick, and there's nothing I can do about that. I don't believe in the
Then you do have a
Bible,
problem
and
with
I don't believe in the Bible because of its
Hypothetically.
contradictions, its historical and scientific errors, and the fact that Jesus didn't fulfill a single messianic prophecy, and that no prophecies are being fulfilled. That's why I don't believe in the Bible. It has nothing to do with theodicies. Theodicies are just the cherry on top of why God's a dick.
Right. So you're not really interested in the moral argument, like hypothetically, if God existed. You're more interested in like biblical contradictions and like historical.
I'm curious, what does the
reliability.
Bible say? Because even if I believed in a God who had all the omni properties, I still wouldn't believe in the Bible.
Because
Of all the problems with the Bible. The Bible is no different than any other ancient work. It's just as reliable, if not less, because it's a bit of mythology. It's not actual history, it's mythology. It's not very reliable. It's just an ancient myth.
I think you got to give it credit. You got to give credit where credit is due. Okay.
I give credit where credit's due, and the Bible doesn't have a lot to give credit to.
I don't know, bro. I think
I'm
you're
not.
missing
I'm
a
not.
lot of
I'm
really
not.
good
I'm.
stuff.
I'm not going to dig out the pieces of corn from the pile of shit and chew on it. No, I'm just going to get rid of the pile of shit and get just a pile of corn. No, thank you.
Yeah, but like I think that makes your argument kind of weak because it's like, oh, you don't see
No,
anything.
your argument's weak
good,
because
like, it's
you've
just a big
yet to
pile
give
of
me a
garbage?
good
Okay.
reason to believe in the Bible. I don't care about whether or not the Bible has a few nuggets of good things here and there. I care about whether or not the statements made in the Bible are factually true or not.
Okay. Congratulations.
Is that all I got?
Dude, I could talk to you for hours. I could be up here for
I
hours.
can't
You want more?
talk to you for hours because you've given me nothing. You're giving me nothing. You can't have a conversation with someone
Well, that's
who's
not true.
giving
I gave you a
no-
bunch.
You've given me nothing. You've given me some half-assed conspiracy,
Okay.
half-baked conspiracy theories about Elon Musk,
Right.
and you've demonstrated that you don't know the Bible. So I'll actually let it up to my audience. Put a 1 in the comments if you want me to end this conversation, or a 0 if you want to see it continued. Because if I'm bored, I can only imagine how you guys feel.
Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna have a lineup of all stars after me.
Yeah, pretty much almost anyone is better than you.
Actually, we have a notorious Christian up here in the chat.
Is this M?
No, it's not him. It's a Christian.
Oh, I see. Hello, Flat M's. I'll ask you the same 4 questions that I ask all my other guests, irrespective of who they are. Yeah, Alicia, calm down, Jordan. No one cares. Actually, real quick, Mims, before I move on, before we talk to you, I'm gonna read some super chats real quick.
And it is Dr. Flat to you.
Dr.
Go
Flat.
ahead.
Yeah. At the Viking Chef with the 5 pounds. Dalton, bring the mustache back. That's all I got. Hail Odin. Listen, guys, I don't like having facial hair. Also, no one wants to sit on that. That's all I gotta say about that. And and by the way, the Viking Chef and both the next are both British. So, good day, Governor. With the 10 pounds, Herbie Shine, in my best American accent. Hey, buddy, I'll take a pastrami on rye. Just trying to join in with the accent thing. FYI, the line used to get a lot of troll pray for 15 minutes call a while ago. Wait, FYI, the line used to get a lot of. Oh yeah, the line. Okay, the online show called The Line. Yeah, what a weak ass argument. Just pray for 15 minutes. As soon as he couldn't get me with the pray for 15 minutes, he had to go into his conspiracy theory nonsense. And one more super chat before we move on to talk to Dr. Flat here. At Adam Carmona with the $5. Most ultra-Orthodox Jews reject the state of Israel as a sacred restoration, and for a good reason too, because the Israel of the democratic state of Israel is not the Israel of the Bible. So, M's, Mr. Flat, Dr. Flat, are you at least 18 years old?
I am. I have 2 doctorates, so yes.
Okay, and do you believe the Bible is true?
It is.
How much have you read?
All of it.
And what pronouns do you go by?
I do not believe in pronouns.
So you don't believe in the Bible. Gotcha.
No, I believe the Bible uses pronouns, but I do not believe in asking people for pronouns. I think you can tell very obviously I'm a man.
I don't know. You could just be a very deep voiced woman.
Well, no. Statistically, it is unlikely.
Let me tell you a story, Dr. Flat. And this is a story for
Before
all.
we do, you asked me 3 questions. I have a question that I do ask everybody. What are your credentials? Go ahead.
My credentials. I got a high school diploma and a give 'em hell attitude.
So I'm assuming there is 0 doctorates.
Yes. Are any of your doctorates in the Bible?
No.
Well, it looks like we're on equal playing field then. Good to know.
No, we're not.
In what way?
In the way that I've proven myself to be more academically rigorous than you.
In regards to the Bible?
In regards to life in general.
But in regards to the Bible?
Again, intellect applies in all aspects. You have shown you have none.
Well, you didn't go to school for the Bible. Why didn't you go to school for the Bible?
Because going to school for the Bible does not seem to be something. For example, I went to school for a purpose, to prove that the Earth is flat and to help people be cured of diseases, for example.
What was that?
The John Doe Institute for the Flat Earth.
John, I'm sure
John
it's
Doe.
super accredited.
Yeah.
Well, why? But why didn't you go to school for the Bible, Dr. Flat?
Because I know it is true.
And you know it's true how?
I already know it is true. Because of the fact that God must exist and that we have overwhelming evidence of the Bible.
Like
Sure. Do you have a problem with my first claim?
that God is real? I do personally, but in these conversations, I doesn't even bother me whether or not someone believes in God, because
And-
I could be a deist and still not believe in the Bible.
I don't know, but I'm talking to you. You as... what do we...
Some of the conversation says
can
Ims
you
is
hear me?
always right. Yes.
who's Ems?
A great guy, wonderful guy.
Yeah,
So-
like your
best voice on
doppelganger.
TikTok.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you're... what is your name?
Duncan, the Bible guy.
Duncan. So Duncan, you yourself have a problem with the belief of God. You seem to struggle
Yes.
with your belief in God.
Yeah. Well, I don't really struggle with it, but yeah, I don't believe in God.
You seem to struggle, yeah. If somebody's struggling, for example, with schizophrenia, we say that they're struggling with it in the same way that you're struggling with your lack of faith.
I wouldn't use the word struggle. It doesn't
It
really.
is equally mental disturbances.
Well, it doesn't really impede my life whatsoever.
It does.
In what way?
In the way that you have 0 doctorates.
I would have a doctorate if I believed in God.
You'd be more prone to, because you'd have a better approach to life in the way you'd go after the pursuit of knowledge, but you do not. You rather sit on TikTok debating people.
Can you
And paying people
provide
to debate you.
evidence for this claim?
Which claim?
That you're more likely to obtain a higher education if you're the more you are religious.
So
Do you have
there
any
is a paper
peer-reviewed-
that was published.
Yeah. What peer
It
reviewed?
is not. I don't know. There is a reason it is not peer-reviewed, the article they're mentioning. It's because it is being
Suppressed
silenced.
by the man.
It is, yes. No.
Yeah. Okay.
This paper is specifically by the Jane Doe Foundation.
Who is it?
Jane Doe Foundation. Is there a DOI to that?
Dr. Flat?
Uh,
Yeah, I would.
continue. So, I don't... How are you not familiar with Dr. John Doe and Jane Doe?
I don't know. They sound like something that you name a body when you can't find the family members and there's no identifying markers. That's why.
Dr. Flat,
And why do you think that is so?
as much as
Why do you think that is so?
as much as I'm
Why do you think that is so?
enjoying our conversation here, Dr. Flat, I do have two other
I know he's gonna run. He's gonna run. He's
Christians.
scared of me. He's terrified.
I do have two other Christians who would like to come up and have a conversation. But bye, Dr. Flat. I love M's. Deep Chungus. I'm gonna ask you the same 4 questions I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah.
Question number 2: are you
Can you hear me?
Are you a Bible believer?
Sorta.
Did you say sort of?
Hello? Yeah, sort of.
Are you Muslim?
Oh, no. I would say I'm Christian.
All right. How much of the Bible have you actually read?
I mean, I guess saying all of it is a bit much, but I've read a couple times. Mostly like when I was a child, going through like Catholicism. How do you call it?
Alright, and what are your pronouns?
What? Oh, he, him.
All right. Chungus, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in your
Come on.
Bible. Why should I?
I mean, I guess you've probably heard this argument a trillion times, but maybe it's like reductionism. But I really don't think that you should believe in it as in like everything that's there is like textually true. It happened like this. It's more like it's
Here,
It's
let's,
like- it's
let's,
a really
let's,
use-
let's skip to the part where what parts of the Bible do you think are true? Do you think it's true that
well,
Jesus was the Messiah?
yeah.
All right, I don't think that's true.
But can
because-
I go back one sec though? Because I think like my main argument is not so much like which parts are true or not. It's more like what constitutes it being true.
Yeah, what I mean by true is, do the events of the Bible corroborate with reality, comport with reality? Like, was Jesus really the Messiah?
I think like. Yo, sorry. Wait. I'm so sorry, man. I disconnected my mic. I was gonna say that my argument is that whether or not Jesus is like metaphysically the Son of God,
I don't care about that. I asked whether or not he was the Messiah.
I don't think I personally care about whether or not he was the Messiah, more about whether or not his teachings are true.
That's the central. Well, that's the central claim of the New Testament, that Jesus is the Christ.
Right, but what is the Christ? Like what I was trying to say is that
the Christ
if
is
Jesus
the,
came
the
and he
Christ,
said like a lot of true
Christ
things.
is the Messiah. I don't care about whether or not he says things which are helpful. I care about whether or not he was the prophesied Messiah of Israel.
Okay, I'll try to defend that he was. So, because me personally, I don't think it's so important if he
It
was
is.
like the Messiah of
important.
Israel.
If it's important to me, if he's not the Messiah,
Okay,
then
okay.
I'm not going to follow him.
But could he do miracles without being the Messiah?
Sure, false prophets can perform miracles, so don't care about miracles.
Oh, okay.
So
Because like my
what's-
thing is like if Jesus was really able to heal people,
then
I'm
that wouldn't tell
a lot
me.
more
that wouldn't-
interested.
That wouldn't tell me anything, because again, even if let's pretend I was Jewish for a second,
Okay.
okay?
Uh-huh.
False prophets can perform miracles.
I don't think they can.
They can.
That's kind of like the definition of false. How?
No, because Deuteronomy 13 says that God will send you prophets who can even perform signs and wonders. But if they turn you away from the God of Israel, then they're false prophets. Or if they say things that don't come to pass, which Jesus did.
Okay. Would you accept that like not all miracles are the same?
No,
So do you like,
they can
for
have
example,
they
if
can have different
I-
magnitude of magicalness.
No, like I guess like a sleight of hand, sort of like compared to like healing someone sick. 'Cause I don't know if
are you
any
are you
false
going to be
prophets that have
are you
healed
going to be able
anyone.
to demonstrate that Jesus actually healed people, or are you just
Oh,
going to
no,
say
no.
well, the Bible said so?
No, neither. It's more like I was trying to say like
So here,
hypothetically.
how
if
about,
he
how
healed
about I
people-
skip all this nonsense? I don't care whether or not Jesus was said to be a miracle worker. I only care about whether or not he actually fulfilled messianic prophecy. If he didn't do that, he wasn't the
Oh.
Messiah, and I don't care how much of a con artist he was.
But
or
then
whether
you
or
do
not he-
believe in messianic prophecy.
well, if someone fulfilled messianic prophecy, I would believe they are the Messiah. Since no one has, I don't think there is such a thing
But-
as Messiah.
Oh, so I mean like so you do believe in messianic prophecy?
No, because no one's fulfilled any. I don't think. I have no reason to think that.
No, I don't mean it like that. I mean like
I hear
like you give
I
weight
don't
to
believe
the
prophecies
messianic
are
prophecy?
real until actually one gets fulfilled. How about that? Does that help?
yeah. So it's more like okay. So like if Jesus, imagine that Jesus did I don't know like everything that he supposedly did, but didn't fulfill the prophecy.
He did fulfill a single prophecy.
Wouldn't that okay? Wouldn't that also like if he was able to heal the sick without it being like
I don't think
bullshit,
Jesus.
you know?
I don't think Jesus healed the sick. I don't think you're going to be able to demonstrate.
oh
that.
okay. No, I don't think I would be able to either.
So
I was just saying like
why,
hypothetically
no,
if he healed the sick.
why bring it up? If you can't,
'Cause
here,
I-
here, let me save you time. If you can't demonstrate something to be true, just don't bring it up in conversation because I'm going to ask you to prove that's true. That's
But
how
I
this
think that's
goes.
like a super narrow way of like trying to get at
That's
this
how.
topic. But I don't
That's
think
how I care about whether or not things are true. I don't want to believe in things that aren't true. The only way I can get to knowing
No.
what is and isn't true is via evidence. So, do you have any evidence
Oh,
for that
can-
Jesus
I mean, maybe-
performing
maybe-
miracles?
I don't know if this is allowed because maybe you think I'm wasting your time.
Personal testimony?
I would
No,
want to debate. No, not personal testimony. I want to debate the idea that you can only like grasp at the truth through evidence. Because I think that's like the main problem with this whole thing. Like I don't think you can get to the Bible through evidence. Because
Well-
what evidence is there? for
Yeah,
any of
there,
these things?
are you admitting that there is no evidence for what you believe?
it's not that I'm admitting anything. It's more like I would say. I mean, I would admit that evidence is not
I can see
what
why.
makes me believe in
I
Christ.
I can see now why you guys said he was wasting time on Ian's live. You were just on Ian's live, weren't you? Wasting time. Here, I'm gonna make this very simple for you.
Oh,
I want to know whether or not Jesus was the Messiah. Are you able to give me a good reason to think he was the Messiah? The silence is deafening.
no, sorry. I'm thinking because like I don't know how to say it in like. I don't think you can make the argument
I
like
think the
super
word you're
simple.
looking.
Like
I think the answer
there's
you're
something
looking
like
for
this.
is no. You can't.
Oh, but that's like super unfair to me to like
No,
not
well,
let me like,
yeah,
think it out.
yeah.
for
If
myself.
you hold to a position that doesn't have any evidence for it, then
No,
then I can
unfair
see
to me
why
to, like,
you would think it's
assume.
unfair for me to ask you for evidence. But here's the thing.
No,
Here's
no,
my
no, no,
here's
no.
my
Oh my
Chungus.
god, man.
Dalton, actually, Chunkus is actually a schmurderer.
yeah.
Since we don't need evidence for
Yeah,
this, let's
Chungus,
just
you're a
go.
murderer. You're a murderer, Chungus. How do you feel about that?
Did my mic get muted?
Chungus,
Sorry.
you're a murderer.
No, I don't think that's true.
No, it's true. I don't need
No
evidence.
evidence.
No, oh my god, you're like, oh Jesus, why did you like?
Oh no!
say,
Hey,
like,
you're a
50
Christian.
things
You're a,
in a row?
you're a Christian. Don't take Jesus' name in vain. Also, no,
Okay.
I don't need
Like the
evidence.
whole thing
I can just believe things
I didn't
without
think
evidence.
I was wasting Ian's time.
Well,
I don't know where that came from.
from my audience were some members.
Damn.
Some members of my audience actually left Ian's live because of you, because you're incredibly boring. Now, do you have any
Oh, wow.
actual
I'm sorry to
evidence?
them. Sorry,
do you have
sorry.
any actual evidence for your position, or are you just going to be wasting my time? If so, I can just move on to the next guest. I don't want to have my time.
Okay, I mean,
I want to.
yeah, I don't want
let
to
me
waste anyone's time.
Chungus,
Damn.
let me tell you. Here's my goal. I want to believe as many true things as possible. The only mechanism I've ever been able to see that has ever been able to demonstrably get me to truth is through investigation of evidence. Do you have another mechanism but is as reliable for getting to the truth?
Not as reliable now.
Okay, then I don't
Evidence
care.
is pretty, like,
Then I don't care about your whatever
reliable.
other thing you have to say. I want evidence for why I should believe the Bible is true, or I think the Messiah is Jesus.
Just to be clear too, you would like us to have evidence before we lock you up for being a schmurderer, right?
What's a murder? Sorry.
A murderer.
A murderer. Technically.
What?
You
Okay.
do want evidence for that one though, right?
No, I mean, I think for things like
No, it's
sending
just
someone
a
to
yes or
jail?
no, and then answer Dalton's question. I'm not trying to
Okay.
sidetrack us. You would
My bad.
want evidence for that one.
yes,
Okay.
that one I would.
Now
Now,
answer Dalton's question.
What's the evidence that Jesus was actually the Messiah?
That he said many true things.
If I say true things, does that make me the Messiah?
No, because I guess it depends on what true things you're saying.
So Jesus, you're presupposing that when Jesus says that he's the Son of God and Messiah, that's a true thing. But I'm going to need
No,
some
no, no.
evidence.
I mean,
for
about
that.
like more of the practical stuff. You know?
So if I say things which are practical and true, therefore I'm the Messiah. Do you think the Buddha was Messiah?
Yeah, I would really, really, really respect the argument that like Jesus was like a Buddha.
God. You don't know
What's wrong with that?
you don't know what the word Messiah means, do you?
Yeah, like the chosen, begotten Son of God, sent to like fulfill the prophecy and clear off of our sins, etc., etc.
No.
Sort of.
Messiah in Hebrew, Mashiach, means anointed one, and it means you're anointed for the purpose of being the king of Israel.
Oh. I don't think Jesus himself believed he was the king of Israel.
Then he didn't believe he was the Messiah, because that's what Messiah meant in his culture. You don't know
Like,
anything about
is
the Bible,
it-
do you?
No, I mean like, whoa, why are you so
Dalton,
hostile, man?
we have another guest.
Yeah, then just- I mean, like, if you think I'm wasting your time.
Yes, you are.
But
you,
like,
you refuse to give me any evidence for any of your positions. So yes, I have a shorter patience span than like Ian probably does, and I will not stand for a fool who's coming up here and wasting my time and the time of my audience who's refusing to give me any evidence for what they believe. So thank you for wasting my time. I'm not going to get those 9 minutes back. I guess I'll bring up Brian, but before I bring up Brian, I'm going to read some super chats real quick. Man, can we get some good opposition today, people? For the love of your God. At Jamming J with the $4.99. I wish Christians were prevented from using tech that works on principles that the Bible disagrees with. Ash is a vet. Hooah, battle buddy. Big W Duncan. There you go.
We say huh.
Oh, it says hooah.
That's how we used to say it.
Okay. That sounds like a bad orgasm. But,
Marines.
At Gretchen Z, how you doing, Gretchen? With the $3.11. This is AI trash. Please turn it off. Hashtag great troll M's. He's like the masterclass at it for sure. And then one last super chat and we'll move on to Brian. At Garbage Man 86 with the 5 Canuck bucks. Dr. Flat is a plastic surgeon. He reverses Brazilian butt flips perfectly flat after.
Did you just call them butt flips?
Butt lifts. Sorry. I saw the flat and yeah, I got mixed up for a second there. So
I just wanted to know what a butt flip was.
a butt flip, you don't want to know. Well, maybe. Well, anyways, Brian Peck. I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions I ask all my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
I'm definitely over 18 years old. Although I will tell you, when I joined, I accidentally hit the join button. I just thought you wrote the explanation of why. I didn't mean to, as opposed to anything else.
Oh, so you're not.
If Ems is still here, I would have.
You're not a Bible
It was an
believer?
accidental entry. I'm not. Although if Ems is still here, I would have a question for him in regards to the Quran. I'm not a Quran believer either.
Ems, if you're still here and you're wanting to take a Quran question, feel free to ask up here. What's your question, real quick, and I'll write it down in case Ems comes back in later. Here, let me see. Let me write this down. Here, what's your question?
The question I had is for the discussion about whether or not semen comes between the backbone and the ribs. My Arabic is really, really foggy, but I think the word used there actually specifically means the area of the ribs in the area of the necklace. I just wanted him to verify that.
Area of
And
the
also,
area of the neck?
Area of the necklace, where a
Arabic.
pendant would lay.
Arabic word for between ribs. Area of the necklace. All right.
And then one more question for him, which is, does he think that this was a misinterpretation of Hippocrates' idea of the kidneys being the source of semen, or whether or not he thought this was a misinterpretation of Galen, who thought blood was concentrated in the kidneys and sent to the testicles?
All right. Oh, Hippocrates and what was the other one?
Galen?
Galen. All right. I've heard this before. I've actually heard this before. I don't know the answer, so I'll make sure to ask Ems whenever he gets up here. But like the idea is that, Muslims will make the claim that the Quran has special divine wisdom and knowledge that no one else could possibly have. But in reality, anything about cosmology or biology that the author of the Quran makes is 100% going to be based on the existing cosmology and like medicine of his day, which is why he thinks these stupid things. But if I see Ems again, or if he comes back, I'll make sure to ask him.
Yeah, my apologies once again. Every time I click TikTok on a live, I somehow managed to accidentally hit the bottom right corner. I apologize.
That's fine. Tapping is clapping. We love tapping. But thank you for coming up, Brian.
I think so.
If you're opposition and you think you have a good reason for me to believe in the Bible, a reason based on evidence, I must note, feel free to come on up and have a discussion with us. I promise that as long as you're willing to actually have a discussion with evidence, I'm willing to have the conversation with you. The reason I got rid of the last guest, not Brian, but the one before him, was because he basically admitted that he doesn't have evidence for what he believes, and he was wasting all of our time. Well, the tops of them, what, Jake? Hey, Ems, good, you're here. Ems, crazy. I was just talking to a crazy flat earther earlier, but that's another thing altogether. Ems, Did you hear the question that was asked of you?
No. I was just invited.
Okay, yeah, okay. So I had a person who wanted to know whether or not the Arabic, in the passage where it talks about how the semen comes from between the backbone and the ribs, they wanted to know if the Arabic was related to the area where the necklace is, where the necklace would lie, and
Yes.
say it what?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. What is the exact Arabic word there?
It is the last word in verse number 7 of chapter 86.
All right.
Al-Tarab.
All right.
If you open it up, you're gonna be able to find the little booklet on the side of the verse that shows you the tafsir. Just press on it and then just Control F and write the word necklace, and it should come up.
All right. And then the second question that they had for you was this a misinterpretation on the part of the author of the classical works of Hippocrates or Galen?
Probably no. It's an Arabic misconception in which men come from the backs of their fathers. So you are from the back of your father. I do not know if the same thingy exists in English, but in Arabic you see that. So that is why they thought that the man's liquid came from his back, and then the woman's liquid, I'm assuming, this is my assumption, that is referring to colostrum, because it's referring to a yellow and delicate fluid coming from the breast area of a woman, between her breasts. And the only liquid that would make sense, that is both yellow and delicate, as described, would be colostrum. So I'm assuming it is talking about colostrum and semen from the back being mixed together and forming a child.
All right. That makes sense. Oh, there you go, Brian. You didn't have to wait long for your answer, so I hope you're satisfied with that answer. M's next year.
Was it a guest or was it?
Yeah, it was
what was it?
It was someone who accidentally came up, but they wanted to know. Since they were up, they decided to come up and ask a question. Because I don't have any opposition right now, if you're friendly and you have Bible questions that you'd like to discuss, feel free to get in the chat box, and I'll bring you up and we can have that conversation. Brendan Mann says, how do you explain the Torah saying 3,000 years ago, for dust you are and to dust you will return? That's a good question. So the author of the Torah has God saying to Adam, in the day you eat of it, the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, you're going to die. And Adam didn't die that day, and the reason for that is not because a day equals 1,000 years or some other nonsense like that, but rather that God was simply just lying to Adam. God lies all the time, and he just lied to Adam in order to get him to not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Can you briefly explain the Messianic prophecy, and if it is the Messiah that has to fulfill it, or God? Which one? Which prophecy? Also, everyone, keep tapping that screen, as Ashley Ash says in the comment section. So close to 50K. Absolutely. So keep tapping that screen. Share the live with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends, with your enemies. Let's get the word out there so we can have some interesting conversations.
Repost the live as well if you're on TikTok. On YouTube, there is a link in the chat if you're a Christian watching, getting infuriated. If your spirit compels you to rebuke these wandering atheists, step forward, join the TikTok live and request to come up. That's what the link says. And like the live.
So here, we have a guest. Also, thank you for Ems for coming up and giving us an answer. Mayor Engel. Mayor, I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions I ask all my guests, irrespective of who they are, or 3, depending on your position. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah, I'm 20.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yes.
Question number 3, how much of your Bible have you read?
I read the whole Bible like 3 times because I'm Jewish, and in Israel we read the Bible, the whole Bible,
The Tanakh.
like every year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you just
The Tanakh.
Yeah, Tanakh, not the Brit Chadashah. You just read the Tanakh. Okay, 3 times. Okay, Mayor.
Oh, nice. You know Hebrew, nice.
Just a little bit. And Mayor, what pronouns do you go by?
Wait, what do you mean?
Do you go by he, him, or she, her, or they, them?
Like to who? Like what are you talking about?
Like if a third,
What do you mean?
if,
What are you going?
if someone didn't want to say Mayor went to shul, would they say he went to he went to shul, she went to shul, or they went to shul? Which one do you prefer?
He.
Okay. Mayor, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Tanakh. For anyone who doesn't know, in the comment section, Tanakh is what Jewish people refer to the Hebrew Bible as. Tell me, Mayor, why should I believe in the Tanakh?
Like, did you burn as a believer? Like,
Say what?
like, did you burn as Christian, as Jewish, as what did your parents taught you?
I grew up Protestant, and I also practiced Catholicism at one point, and I was a Noahide at another point. A Ben Noach.
All right, so like you should follow your parents, like if they believe in the Bible.
Why? My parents.
Like in the Bible, it says. In the Bible, it says never go wrong, different than what your parents go, because it's working. Like, look, you're here. If your parents wouldn't believe in the Bible, you think they would marry?
I think
no.
I think the reason my parents believe in the Bible is because evangelists came to them when they were in a very desperate and vulnerable part of their life, and then they duped them into believing in the Bible. I don't think my parents have a good reason for believing the Bible, so I don't just believe things that my parents believe, because I'm my own individual person.
Like, what's wrong with, like, how did they come to the belief? They came to believe because they had in a low points in their life. Like,
yeah,
right now they're good right now. Like, they're feeling well right now.
I wouldn't say so. I think my I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure my dad, at least, is homophobic and transphobic, and he's that way. It might just be ingrained in him because of culture, but also it's spurred on by what he thinks the Bible says. So, like, I don't think
it has nothing to do with the Bible. Like,
I'm sure if you asked him, he would say,
it has nothing to do with the Bible.
I'm sure if you asked him, he'd say, I don't believe you should date a man because Vayikra 18:22 says, man shall not lie with man as with a woman. It's an abomination.
Of course, if you think that everything in the Bible refers to those days we live right now, so of course you will think that way. But you need to learn to study the Bible.
Are you Orthodox, or are you like conservative or Reform?
I'm Orthodox. Yeah, I define myself as an Orthodox, but I don't really do all the mitzvot. Like, I do what I can.
You don't? Well, do you really believe in the Tanakh then, if you don't do all the mitzvot, the commandments?
I really believe in the Tanakh, but I believe that God, like, eventually He wants us to be us, and if we struggle to do things, so it's okay, and because He loves us.
Here's the thing, Mayor.
Eventually,
I can't believe in the Bible if I'm not convinced that it's true. Like, I don't think that Abraham existed or Moshe. I don't think the Torah was given at Mount Sinai. I don't think that the Exodus from Egypt ever occurred.
Like, I got you. I don't believe that even like Napoleon was exist, because it was a very long time ago. So,
but
of course, you don't believe.
Do you really think the argument that you should believe what your parents believe is really good? Because what if my parents were Nazis?
No, it's not the same. Like, you can take something that it's morally wrong and say, yes, but it's a wrong belief. Like, believing in the Bible is a very good thing. All the Jewish in the world.
You would agree with me that the things that the Nazis believe in doesn't comport with reality. Like, their false beliefs about the nature of humans is not correct, right? Which is why we shouldn't believe in it, because it's false.
Of course.
I would say that I shouldn't believe in the Bible.
It's not only because it's not correct. It's because they hurt people.
Sure, it's both.
They hurt people.
And I would
killed a lot of people.
And I would say I don't believe in the Tanakh because, one, it's not true. Its statements are not true. And two, because people have used it to hurt other people.
So, like, how do you explain that Chazal said things about the world that no one could knew then?
Like what?
In their time.
And for everyone who doesn't know, Chazal refers to,
like
to the sages of Israel. What things did the Chazal say that they could not possibly have known?
Like, they said the number, like, they said that there is, like, 10 times, like 10 and 18 0 after the 10 stars. And if you'd say it, then people would think you were
where-
crazy, because we
Where
only
did
say
they
like
where did they say that?
they said it in like in Gemara we call it Megillah. Well, let me give you the exact
Where
location
in
they said it.
Megillah?
Wait a second.
Sefaria.
I remember when I studied it when I was in the yeshiva, because I was in the yeshiva once.
Megillah.
Now I'm working, but
which,
I was in the yeshiva.
Which folio is it in?
Wait, I'm gonna give you the exact location it is.
Did they just make the statement that there are many, many, many stars, or did they say the exact number that you're saying?
They said there is like 12 from this one, and above this one there is like 30 of this one, and they referred to a number that comes to a crazy number that you wouldn't know it if you would live like 2,000 years
Did
ago.
the ancient Israelites even have a number? They didn't have a number 0 in their language. The number 0 did not exist in Semitic numeral systems. They
didn't say exactly there is like 18 and like 10 and 18 number 18 0. They didn't say it that way, but they said a number like 10k times 10k, like
10,000
like
times
that.
10,000.
If we, not exactly, like I'm giving you an example. Like if you calculate it, it comes to that number.
How many stars do you think?
Brachot. It's in Brachot.
Okay, 1 second. Let me look for that.
In paper 32.
1 second. Let me look. I'm trying to find it real quick. Berachot. Here it is. Berachot 32.
Brachot, page 32.
A or B?
A or B?
Yeah, 32A or 32B.
B.
All right.
It said like God said to Israel, I build like 12 of that, and above that there is 30 and 30 and 30 and 30 and 30, and above all of that there is 365.
Here,
like
the Holy One,
1,000.
Hakodesh Baruch Hu, said to Israel, "My daughter, I created 12 constellations in the firmament, and for each and every constellation I've created 30 armies, and for each of every army I created 30 legions, and for each and every legion I created 30 infantry division leaders, and for each and every infantry division leaders I have created 30 military camps, camp leaders, and for each and every military camp leader I created 30 leaders of forts, and on each of every leader of forts I have hung 365,000 stars corresponding to the day of the solar year, and all of them I have created only for your sake." So let's do that math real quick and see if that equals out to the actual number of stars in the universe.
It equals to 10 and then 18 0 after that.
Yeah, let's take a look and find out if that's true.
We can do the math. 12 times 30 times 30.
I don't know about you, but I'm no bueno at math, so I'm just gonna have ChatGPT.
That's okay.
Run the numbers for me. Copy.
No, just take a calculator. You can do it on a calculator. If you got one next to you.
Let's see. 1 second. Copy. I'll just pen and paste.
Dalton, you can use the calculator for this. I didn't hear all that.
You didn't hear all of it. No, I'm not doing all that. Do the math and see how many stars they are claiming to exist. Let's take a look. Thinking. Yeah, you weren't here for it. I just listed off a crazy, intricate thing. Okay, 12 constellations, each constellation 30, 30, 30, 30. Okay, about 100 trillion. That's 100 trillion stars. Let's see. How many?
We need Quantanaut.
Let's see.
Do you want me to to tag Quantanaut?
The number of galaxies in observable universe is 2 trillion galaxies. I mean, if you want, it's 200 sextillion stars. It's a bit
It's
off.
close. It's like a very close number. No.
Not even close. Not
Like,
even remotely close.
How many zeros? How many zeros were they wrong about?
What percentage are they off by? Like sextillion is a huge number that I can't even like fathom that number difference. Let's take a look. Percent, they are off by about 99.999999995% compared to the modern scientific estimate of stars in the observable universe.
Oh shit!
I bat signaled
Really?
Quantanaut.
Too late.
How do they
already
know
saw
how
them.
many stars there is?
They-
How do they know how many stars there is?
They didn't. They were
Like,
they were off by 99%.
No, I'm talking about like science. Like science know for
Oh.
sure how many stars are there.
Yes, we have far better tools for like unlike Chazal, who were just like, you know, using symbolic numbers and guesstimating like how many stars were in the heavens, because they didn't count them, and nor were they given divine inspiration. Science actually has mechanisms and tools for counting those stars. Quantanaut actually might.
Science changes.
Well, here's my friend Quantanaut. You can discuss it with him. Quantanaut, how do we know that there are in fact like 200 sextillion stars in the universe?
Right. Well, the main way we know that is that we can simply count the number of stars in our own galaxy. So we can see like the density of stars in a normal galaxy. We can even, you know, see it with the galaxies next to it, or the satellite galaxies next to us, and we can extrapolate that to the galaxies that we see, you know, outside of our own Milky Way. We can determine the total brightness that those galaxies are emitting. Using redshift, we can determine how far away those galaxies are, and so we can determine the
How
total
can you say how far
luminosity.
they're? Like, did you travel there? How can you say that?
You don't need to. There's a process known as redshift. So we can take advantage of the fact that the universe is expanding, because what an expanding universe will do is it will stretch out the wavelength of light as it travels through space. And so therefore, if we look at the light coming from a galaxy, by seeing how much the light has been stretched out, we can infer how far that light has traveled. And given how that light has a constant speed, we can deduce, you know, how long ago that light was emitted, and therefore how far away it is.
That's how we measure the distance of stars in galaxies.
That's one way. There's a few different ways that we, you know, compare to each other to make sure that we got it right. Another method we use is something called a standard candle. So there are certain astronomical events that give off the same amount of brightness every time it happens. So the one I'm most familiar with is when a white dwarf is leaching mass from a binary star next to it. And at some point it will be leaching so much mass that it reaches a critical density and goes supernova. And that supernova happens at the exact same threshold every single time. It's, you know, right when it hits a certain mass limit, triggers a supernova, and that supernova is going to be the same brightness every time.
How
So
do you
every
know it's
time
the
we
same
see-
math? How do you know that?
Well, you can just do the math, because the reason we know why supernovas happen when they reach a critical density, the core of the star essentially can't support the star anymore. And it collapses in on itself, and this triggers a whole process that results in a massive explosion. And we can predict it really well. We know when stars are going to go supernova pretty well. We know when they're near the end of their lifetime, roughly. And we can predict like what mass stars will or will not go supernova from this. So we have validated these models that predict this. And yeah, using that, we can determine, every time we see a supernova like this, we know its true brightness, and we also know the brightness, like how much light we detect here on Earth. And just given the inverse square law, because you know the further you are away from
What do you
the
mean
light
we
source,
know?
the dimmer it is.
Did you see the test that they do? What do you mean we know? Like, did you see what they do? Like the test that they're doing?
I'm saying like science in general. I work in nuclear physics, but you know I have friends in Astro who do this.
You work in nuclear physics.
Yes.
Damn. So you make like a nuclear bronze or something?
No, I work on particle colliders, similar to the
Gotcha.
LHC.
So you're saying they were wrong in like what
I,
percentage?
I'm curious.
What
I'm
percentage?
curious, Mayor, why you don't hold Chazal to the same standard that you're holding Quantanot to. Like, why didn't you ask Chazal? Like, ask your teachers whether how Chazal came to that conclusion.
They were much smarter than like
They,
every human being that
the-
live on Earth right now.
no, Chazal wasn't. Quantanot knows far more on science
Smarter.
than any of
They
your
were smarter
sages
than a
knew.
PhD physicist.
Oh, shucks.
Listen, there is stories
PhD
of
candidate,
Chazal
I have to
that's
say.
Oh, candidate. I apologize.
wait a second. There's the stories of Chazal that they like they how do you say it?
Stories.
Resurrect the dead. Like
I don't. Yeah, those are just stories.
You didn't even Google it. Like that's how little
there
you
is evidence
questioned
for
it.
that. Like
You didn't even
lot of
do the
people-
math or Google it.
my rabbi told me that. Okay.
Why
you didn't
Something
question
again.
it.
why didn't you question your rabbi for how they?
Why would I
possibly know-
question my rabbi?
That's what. Aren't you supposed to do argument for the sake of heaven?
What do you mean?
Machlochet. You know, do
Machlokit.
some argument with him. Like, don't just. Like,
I can't-
if
listen.
if Abraham can question Hashem about the people of Sodom and Gomorrah, surely you can question your rabbi where he's getting this.
That's a
information.
great question. I love that you asked that. There is a rule in Judaism, in the Gemara, that you can't ask rabbi if he's above you, like if he's older than you. There's like halacha.
That sounds like a broken
Weird.
system. That's exactly how
No,
you
there's
Yeah, I mean,
halacha.
in
There is halacha that
science-
Mayor, that's
In
how-
science, we encourage you to ask questions. I mean, we love it. I
But
got the
science
ping that
changes
somebody
every
was
time.
Making
Sci-
claims,
science
and
changes
I
every
jumped on
time.
here as fast as I
Quantum.
could because I like talking about this.
Judaism is not static. It also changes. Do you think that the ancient
It's
Israelites?
not changing.
Yeah, you think the ancient Israelites held to the same theology that you do?
Of course, the Bible was the same thing like 2,000 years ago.
Do you think Hashem is?
And now,
do you think that Hashem is all-knowing?
Of course.
The Tanakh would say differently. You
Where
think
did he say differently?
in the story of Sodom and Gomorrah? What does Hashem say to the angels as they're walking towards Sodom and Gomorrah? What does he say about Abraham? He says,
What did he say?
Should I tell my servant Abraham what I'm going to do? And then he says to Abraham, I have heard the cry come up to me. I am going to go see if things are as bad as I have heard.
You can't read it as it's right. You can't do that.
I can and I do.
It's not like
I treat the Tanakh the same way that I treat any other ancient Near Eastern text. Here's the problem, Mayor, and this is not just a problem with Orthodox Jews. This is a problem with most modern religious people, including Christians. The things you believe about God in the Bible aren't based upon what the Bible says. It's based upon your Masorah, your tradition that's been handed on to you. But that tradition, though, is a post-biblical innovation. The Israelites didn't believe the same things. The Israelites were not monotheist, first and foremost. They thought there were other gods. Are you aware of this?
no, absolutely not. Like even science thinks that
have you seen-
Judaism was the first religion who believed in one God.
No. Tehillim 82. What does it say?
Man, how do you know so much?
I told you I'm an ex-Noahide. Here, I'm going to open up Psalm 82 from this is a Jewish translation. Okay. Mitzmor la'asaf, a psalm of Asaph. God stands in the divine assembly amongst the what? What does it say there? Ba'adat el, ba'kerev Elohim yishpat. Amongst the gods, he judges.
It's not God. The name of God
Elohim.
is Elohim.
No.
It's one of his names.
No.
It's one of
It's
his.
not referring. It's not. This is Elohim. Is not referring to. Is not referring to Hashem. Listen closely. It says, Mitzmor la'asaf, Elohim nitzav ba'adat el, ba'kerev Elohim yishpat. What does it mean that when God says ba'kerev Elohim yishpat?
Simply in Hebrew, it means like there is another God, and like it judges next to them.
Yeah, he's in the.
It's in Hebrew, but
Yeah,
you can-
he among them he judges. He stands in the council, ba'adat el, in the council of God, ba'kerev Elohim yishpat, amongst the gods he judges. And what does he say to them? How long? This is God speaking against all the other gods. He says, "How long will you judge perversely, showing favor to the wicked, Selah? Judge the wretched and the orphan, vindicate the lowly and the poor."
No, let me write it down. I'll ask it.
Yeah, this is.
Let me write it down. I'll ask it to my rabbi tomorrow.
Tehillim
in Shabbos.
82.
In Shabbat tomorrow.
Yeah. At the end, in verse, Ani amrati Elohim atem uvene elyon kulechem. I had taken you for you. I say to you, you are gods and sons of the Most High, all of you. He's referring. So the reason for this, Mayor, is because monotheism is a development within Judaism. The ancient Israelites were what we call monolitristic. They believed in the existence of multiple gods, but El Elyon was the Most High God above them all. The rest were his sons.
Wait, how do you explain? How do you explain when it says Shema Israel?
Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
This thing, right?
Yeah, Adonai.
Exactly. How do you explain?
Adonai Echad. Echad here means like alone. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God.
He's the only one.
Yeah,
that's what it means.
As in he's the only one you worship, not the only one that exists. It's like later in Zechariah 14 where it says God's name.
You're distorting it. You can do that.
I can. That's how
you're distorting
that. No, that's why even Jewish translations, like the New Jewish Publication Society, translates Deuteronomy 6:4 as here. Actually, I'll pull it up right now. A Jewish translation from. Are you familiar with Sepharia?
Sepharia?
Yeah, it's an online like library of Jewish sources. Here we go. It's
okay. I trust them. It's okay.
Yeah. So we go here. Sepharia, Tanakh, Deuteronomy, chapter 6. Let's see what verse 4. How they translate verse 4. Let's see. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God. Adonai alone. Echad here means alone.
Exactly. He's alone.
Yeah, no, as Adonai is our God, Adonai alone. It's like saying, listen, all these other gods exist, but only Adonai is our God, Adonai alone. We only worship Him.
I don't agree with you.
No,
I don't agree about it.
Scholars the majority, the consensus of both Christian and Jewish scholars disagree with you. In fact, I would suggest a book for you, Mayor, would be The Limits of Orthodox Theology by Mark B. Shapiro. And he questions a lot of the presuppositions of orthodoxy as espoused by Maimonides, including the idea that you believe that God is incorporeal. The Bible says no such thing. And there were rabbis in the Talmud who did not agree with this. The idea that the Torah was perpetual and forever. The idea that the ideas about resurrection, the idea about God being the one and only God. He shows from traditional Jewish sources that this was not always the consensus belief amongst Jews of the ancient world. This is just like the way that your religion now presents itself, not the way that the ancients believed.
What did Einstein believe? If you say like he was very smart, what did Einstein believe?
Science. Einstein believed in science, and he didn't believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
He said God plays in.
He didn't believe in a literal God. He believed in a much more abstract, like God of order.
He literally said God. he said
Yeah,
God
it
doesn't
was in
play
the
with
more
us.
abstract. He was being very poetic, honestly. But if you want to talk about like smart scientists and stuff, you should see what Stephen Hawking believed.
What is Stephen Hawking did? Like,
He was an
he
atheist.
didn't do anything like that is very important to humanity. He
What?
didn't like.
What?
He did
Give me one
enormous
thing-
amount
give
of
me one
research
thing
with
that's-
black
that Hawking-
holes.
Yeah,
He came up with Hawking radiation.
I'm
He-
sorry,
he
but I don't
determined
care
that
about black
holes can actually
holes.
eventually die.
Well,
Why do I care if black holes is gonna die?
Mayor, science doesn't
Like,
care
seriously.
about what you personally
That's-
believe. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Why do you care
Also, if you're going to say
if
that,
black holes-
then why would you care about Einstein? Because it was his research
I-
that led to the understanding of black holes to begin
Because
with.
Einstein did like very important things. He made the
What
theory.
do you think he did?
If Einstein wasn't exist, we didn't have starships right now. We didn't have like
Starships?
Starlines.
That's not true.
We didn't have starships.
Yeah,
Yeah,
spaceships.
spaceships.
He had nothing to do with spaceships.
because you couldn't
Spaceships
have
operate
like
over Newtonian gravity. They don't need.
you couldn't
general
have
relativity.
starlights if Einstein wouldn't exist. You couldn't have like
What?
the nuclear weapon, and then if you didn't have the nuclear weapon, you couldn't end like the second World War, like World War II. Couldn't end it. Like Einstein
There's
really
a
did
little bit of
very
argument
major
to be
things.
made there, but even he wasn't too involved with the Manhattan Project.
Ben Man in the comment section, could you please not spam? The question at hand, the dust from To Dust and Dust is going to take us off topic. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, so I'm saying like, give me one thing that Stephen Hawking did, like is very major, very important.
It led to our
Humanity.
understanding of Hawking radiation.
All right, like how long does it take to a black hole to die? Like 100 years,
Like
1,000
probably
years, like
trillions
how
of
long?
years. But like it was
Oh,
the fact
shit.
that they
Oh,
die
right.
at all. It was
Right,
the fact
human
that they die
wouldn't
at
exist
all.
in a trillion years. You know that, right?
Probably.
All right, so
But that's not the point. It's to uncover knowledge.
that's
The fact
exactly
that
the
they
point,
Die
because-
at all is really fascinating, and it opens up a bigger question about how quantum mechanics integrates in with general relativity.
but you know that quantum
I'm very
mechanics
confused on how
actually
that-
prove God.
I'm very
You know that,
confused
right?
on how this is
Oh,
going
oh,
to
you don't-
convince anyone to believe in the Bible. Very, very confused.
You do not want to go down the quantum mechanics proves God rabbit hole.
Listen, my
Again,
rabbi
I
told me
work
once.
in
I
that
heard
field.
that.
Okay,
Specifically.
here, Mayor, you need to start actually thinking for yourself and just don't just believe something because your rabbi says so. I know that the standard in your community is you're not allowed to question your rabbi. You're not going to get anywhere in life if you don't question your superiors.
But like that's the thing with Judaism.
That's what I
We
do.
can't doubt someone who's greater than us.
You
Like,
can.
We can't.
Did Abraham not doubt God? Did he not question God? Will not the judge of all the earth do what is right? If Abraham
No,
can
but it's-
question
the
God,
Gemara-
you can question your rabbi. That's just what the rabbis have told you,
You
in order
can-
to
you
keep
can look
you
it up. You
in line. I know. I believe you that that's what the rabbi, the Chazal have taught, that you're not allowed to question someone who's above you. That's just what they said to keep you in line.
No, if someone
That reminds me
older
of a
than
great
me, like
quote.
greater than me, said something,
would-
is right. Like I can't doubt them. Is right.
Yes, you can.
Only because
yes,
like,
you can doubt it. Was there question?
I would rather have questions that can't be answers than answers that cannot be questioned.
But that's the thing with belief.
That's how
can't
you. That's how
ask
you.
unbelief.
That's how
Like,
you get.
That's the thing.
That's how you get duped, Mayor. That's how you get. That's how you get sold
No.
a bag of lies. Is that you're not allowed to question people above you. You just need to start thinking.
Wasn't
for
that
yourself.
what the Nazis were all about? Not questioning the people above you?
Yeah. Don't
Yeah,
be like
sure,
them.
yeah.
Be better than them. I know you're better than them, Mayor. You have a brain. You're an adult.
It's not about better. It's
You,
not.
you can think for yourself. What if your
It's not about
rabbi's
being better,
What
it's
if your
about-
rabbi's wrong?
They can't be wrong. That's
They
the
can't.
point.
They're human. Mayor, they're human beings.
They're doing miracles. Like listen.
No.
I
What
Mayor.
about the
understand
rabbis who
that. Yeah,
disagree with each other?
Yeah.
Let
They
me
can't
tell
all
you.
be
Let me
right.
tell you something. I had a friend
Mayor,
not my personal friend,
Mayor,
but I saw.
Quant asked a good question, Mayor. How can the rabbis all be right if they don't agree with each other?
Because God don't want one truth. There's a lot of truth. You
no,
need to believe.
You can't have contradictory truths.
It's not about contradiction. It's about because when we have the Galut Bavel, every Jew went to another place, they got confused. They forgot things, and
Maybe they were confused because they refused to. Maybe they were refused to question their leaders, and that's why they're all confused. Because their leaders are all saying different things, and they're not allowed to question it. That's why they're confused. For example, you hold the position, for example, that the Torah is immutable and cannot and will not ever change. Correct?
Right. The Bible itself. The words that are writes in the Bible.
Well, no. For example, will you be and when the Mashiach comes, will you be observing all of the Torah? Will you, for example, not be wearing garments of mixed fabrics?
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. You're not allowed to wear garments of mixed fabrics, correct? That's a mitzvah.
Like a necklace?
No, you can't wool and linen together.
Oh, right. In my clothes.
You're not allowed to wear mixed fabrics, correct? Because the Torah
Correct.
prohibits it. Will that still be observed when the Mashiach comes?
I actually don't know.
Well, some
be
rabbis,
honest, I don't know.
Some rabbis teach that every one of the mitzvot, all 613 of them, will continue in perpetuity forever. There were other rabbis, however, who said otherwise, that some Torah laws would be done away with when Mashiach comes. These both cannot.
Yeah, you're right.
These are both cannot
Oh,
be true. Someone's wrong and someone's
That's
right.
a good question. That's a good question. So let me tell you something. Specifically on the Messiah, on the Mashiach, even the Gemara said, because in the Gemara it said the Mashiach need to come in that year, and there's 20 places when they say the Mashiach has to come in this year, in this date, and there's tons of rabbis who said the Messiah need to come in that date, and it didn't come yet.
Yeah, they were wrong because they were fallible humans.
No. So that's the point. They said themselves, no one can know when the Mashiach will come, because God changes this date every time.
Here's the thing, Mayor, is what you don't seem to understand. And as a student who has studied the Talmud, I assume you've studied the Talmud. Have you actually studied the Talmud itself?
Yeah, I actually studied the Talmud.
Then you should know that the rabbis don't always agree with each other. The Talmud
they don't. You're right.
It's filled with opinions, and guess what? All the rabbis cannot be right. They cannot be. And you need to do your own work and investigate in order to see what is true and what's not, or else you're going to.
How can I investigate what God will is? How can I investigate?
I don't think you can do that because there is no God. But beyond that, even if there was, read the damn book for yourself. Do the research. And look to the primary sources. Ask questions, even uncomfortable ones. And if you don't, you're not going to grow. And the plant that doesn't grow is the plant that dies. Don't be the plant that dies.
Wait, you don't believe in that at all?
If God gave you a brain, you should use it.
I use it to study the Talmud, of course.
You should use it to question.
Of course I use it.
You should. Do you not? Are you not an individual that wants to believe as many true things as possible and disbelieve as many false things as possible?
Obviously, yeah.
Then the stance that you currently hold is not going to get you to the truth. If you're not allowed to question your superiors, you're not going to get to the truth. They can lie to you,
or they can that my superior is not the truth.
Yeah, no, you assume you assume that they are true. The default position is that they're not until they can demonstrate that they are.
That's what the most of the world believes. So I'm in a good, I have a good percentage to be right.
No, you don't.
There's 10% that you're right and 90% that I'm right.
An argument from popularity is not really an argument.
Yeah, that's a fallacy. The number of people who believe a thing doesn't make it true. And the amount of time that someone believes something is true.
It doesn't make it true, but it makes it likely to be true.
No, it doesn't add to the likelihood of it.
Don't
being
you
true.
think?
No, because guess what?
Nope.
The majority of people, for the longest period of time, including the ancient Israelites, thought that the earth was flat. That didn't make it true, nor did it make it more likely to be true. What makes something more likely to be true is if there's evidence backing it up.
But we're in 2025. You can't say like they believe that the Earth was flat.
Yeah, I
You know
can.
what? Now we know it's
read,
round.
the Tanakh says that they said it was flat.
I'm not gonna argue about it, but what I mean to say is like we're 2025, and if God doesn't exist, 90% of the world wouldn't believe it. And if they believe that God exists,
Truth is not a popularity contest. I wouldn't care if 99% of people believe that God existed. That still wouldn't prove that he does. It just proves that people are gullible.
yes, but you said yourself that if Stephen Hawking was a believer, you would believe too. So
No, I didn't. I never said that.
I didn't say that either.
No one on this panel ever said that. If Stephen Hawking had some sort of mental break where he suddenly believed in God, I would say that Stephen Hawking is wrong and he doesn't have any good reason for saying what he says.
you would say Stephen Hawking was wrong if you would believe in God.
Hey,
Yes.
Mayor, do you know what a popular misconception is?
When the majority think something and they're wrong.
Yeah.
Actually-
So this happens like all the time. We think something. In like a large percentage of society, there's colloquial type things. There's things that go around, and when you actually ask an expert, society doesn't get it right. It doesn't mean just because people believe something doesn't mean that it's true.
I have a good example. You were mentioning Einstein, what Einstein believed. Did you know that Einstein was actually wrong about a few things?
Yeah, I know. Like in quantum physics, he thought that there is like things that make it go that way, and he was wrong about it. It's actually 100%
Kind of, but
wrong.
like the one that I'm specifically referencing is that at one point he thought that the universe was static and unchanging. But then he saw evidence that from Hubble that the universe is actually expanding, and he changed his mind in the face of new data. That's what smart people do. They evaluate new data and change their beliefs according to the
Right,
data.
show me a data that God doesn't exist, and
No,
I won't believe it
that's-
anymore.
No,
but you have the data. That's the point.
Mayor, that's not how that works. What
But you literally said it,
Mayor, that's not how that works. You don't prove a negative. You have to prove the positive. If you said to me, Bigfoot's real, and I say I don't believe you, it's not my job to prove that Bigfoot doesn't exist. It's your job as the one who's making the claim that something does exist to prove that it does exist.
Because Bigfoot
Guess
is
what?
not a real thing. It's like
Yeah, neither is God.
a myth.
We have actually
not-
a term for this in science. It's called the null hypothesis. And in order to make any discovery in science, you have to disprove the null hypothesis.
So
That's the whole point of making a new
It's
claim.
like that in everything. Like
Yeah,
if I come to court
Mayor,
and I say
Mayor,
you stole from me, and I give evidence that you
Mayor.
stole, you need to prove
yeah, no.
where you've been yesterday.
No, Mayor. If you're the one who's making the claim that something exists, whether it's a teapot orbiting Jupiter or Bigfoot, the unicorn, leprechauns, or God, if you're the one who's positing that something does exist, the burden of proof is on your shoulders. It's your job to prove that it does exist. Until you can do that, the default position for the rest of us is that thing doesn't exist. And it's not our job to show you that it doesn't exist. It's your job to show that it does exist. That's how the debate works.
This also
like, you
applies
don't
to
believe in
even
any
like
God?
more reasonable claims outside of like leprechauns or whatever. Like even in science, we have some reasonable hypotheses, things that might be true, but we don't want to put our confidence in it until we see evidence that it is true. So like there's a physics theory that there might be more particles than the 17 that we know about. It's called supersymmetry. It's a very reasonable theory. It's very mathematically well formed. There's good motivation for it. But there's no evidence for it yet. And until there is evidence for it, there's not really a good reason to believe in it yet. Only when
So
they
you
show
like so what
positive
you
evidence that they do
so you
exist,
have no beliefs.
then we can start
That's
believing
what you're
in it.
saying. So you have no beliefs. If that what you're saying, like can you prove me love? Can you prove me that your wife love you? like that.
Well,
There
Yeah,
are
with
things that you
evidence.
things
can't
that have
prove.
evidence for them. I mean, like I have evidence that my
Give me
girlfriend
the
loves
evidence that love is exist. Give me the evidence that your girlfriend love you. Like, can you give me the evidence for that? Can it,
Absolutely.
there are
Like I can
things
say how much
in
time
life
she
you have
spends
to
with
believe
me,
in. That's the
you know.
point.
Mayor.
You could even like go into the biology of it and like test different, I don't know, what are they called, endorphins or whatever that get released. Yeah, there's
Love
lots
is
of
not
ways
something
you
you
could
can
show
prove.
that.
It's something
No, you can't prove
if
love.
you need to prove it.
Or you could just do it by asking. That's also evidence as well. Just asking somebody.
Yeah, because you're asking
Yeah,
about
she
because
she
you're
can
asking.
lie.
Well, okay. Well, then her actions would be the evidence. Like for example, I define love as to will the good of the other. If Quant's girlfriend is acting in such a way that demonstrates that she loves him, that's evidence in favor of the love. Do we have any evidence in favor of the things in the Tanakh?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's interesting. So you say like you don't believe in anything that you can prove, like nothing.
I don't believe in things that have no evidence for them.
Yeah, it needs an appropriate amount of evidence that is proportional to the claim. Bigger
But
claims
even
require
science
more
believe in
evidence.
things that it can't. Even science believe in things that it can't prove yet,
Like what?
like dark
Like what?
matter, dark energy.
We have evidence for those.
Well,
things.
I heard
Well, so when it comes
You
to
can't
dark matter and dark
prove
energy,
with
we actually
matter
don't
you
have
can't-
a
you can't
positive
see.
claim
Mayor,
about what those
Mayor,
are
let
yet.
Quanta not speak.
I would not actually. I do not have a positive claim about what dark matter is. The word dark matter is simply a placeholder for the phenomena that we see in the universe that galaxies are heavier than they appear to be. As for like what the actual composition of dark matter is it a weakly interacting massive particle? I can't make that claim yet.
Wait,
because there's no
I want to
evidence for
Google
that
it
yet.
because I once read in some website, like, when I was in a camp in my shiva, like, I read in a website that dark matter is something that science claim to be exist for sure.
Well,
And they don't- and they can prove
maybe
it.
when
Well,
you maybe
like
instead of
we know the phenomenon exists.
yeah, maybe instead of like quoting to us I read in a website, you listen to what the actual scientist says when it comes to dark matter.
Yeah, like literally in the laboratory next to me, they are searching for dark matter right now. And yeah, as I said, we don't.
So why
have a
do you call
claim
it
about
dark
what
matter
dark matter
if you-
is?
if you say
but
you don't know
we do
what
have
it
a
is?
claim that dark matter does exist.
So why do you call it
We
that
do
way?
have
if
good
you-
evidence that it exists, just not what it is.
Yeah, I Google it, and Google say dark matter is a kind of matter that we can't see. It literally said it.
Yes,
Says it.
Don't-
It does not
I
interact
just
with
Google
light,
it.
but it does interact with gravity, which is how we know it exists at all.
Yeah, it's exactly what it says. So it's not like what you're saying. You're saying that we don't know for sure
But,
it exists.
but we do have evidence for
That's
it.
not what
That's my
Quantonaut.
point.
That's not what Quantonaut said. You're not listening to him.
I listened to him. He
No,
said
no,
that
'cause
we
you
don't
ju-
know for
'cause-
sure if it exists or not.
No, he didn't say that.
That's not what I said.
You're not listening to him. You're just
I
waiting
said we
to
don't know what
respond.
dark matter is, but we are pretty confident that it does exist, whatever it may be. It is the name we give to a specific phenomenon.
How can you know something exists if you can like
If you-
see
if
or
you-
measure
if
it?
you-
We
if
can
you
hear the
interact with
effects
that
of
in
it
every-
without
in
knowing its
any way?
properties directly.
Mayor, if you're in the jungle and you hear an animal running around and you don't see it, you may not know what the animal is or what it's made of, but you know it's there based on other evidences. The same is true with the dark matter. We might not know what it's made out of, but we do know it's there because of its effects on everything else.
It's a good analogy.
Effects on what?
Galaxies and light.
It affects on me,
Um,
on our galaxy.
yes. Our
So why
own
can't we, like,
galaxy
take
is
it and measure
composed
it?
partially of dark matter.
I need to study it actually because
Yeah, and the biggest evidence that we have that dark matter is like a thing that exists is something known as the Bullet Cluster. It is a specific galaxy, or rather, two galaxies that have collided into each other, and we can see that it has actually thrown out invisible matter because it's lensing the light passing by it. Because gravity warps light, and we can see that it's bending light like a funhouse mirror, but there's no stars or stuff in that area.
Oh, really?
And so this is
Damn.
really good evidence that there is a invisible
Maybe
type
there
of
is a
matter
black
filling
hole.
up
In
that
So-
there.
space.
Maybe there is a
Mayor,
black hole there that we
I-
can see.
Mayor, I have three,
Even black holes give off light with like quasars.
Mayor, I have three more guests who are waiting to come up. But before I let you go, just need you to confirm for all my Christian opposition. When it comes to the Hebrew language, I do know what I'm talking about, correct?
Yeah, 100%.
All right. For all
You
the
speak
Christians out
great
there,
Hebrew, like
I just need someone to confirm.
I
it.
could understand everything you said. Like,
All right.
yeah, you don't have like a great Hebrew, but you can speak like very good. Like,
Thank you.
I was impressed actually. Like,
Okay, that's all I need.
That's
to hear.
great.
All right, shalom, Mayor, and you have a happy Hanukkah.
all right, happy Hanukkah. Bye bye.
I'm gonna point people
That's
to
fun talking about dark matter.
yeah. In the future, I'm gonna point just so everyone knows I do actually know what the fuck I'm talking about when I come up here and talk in Hebrew.
Y'all are like the dream team for that guest.
Oh yeah, the science side with Quantana and the Tanakh side with the Bible guy. Absolutely. Ben Man, I'm gonna ask you the same four questions. I've been seeing your name in the comment section, Ben Man. I'm gonna ask you the same four questions that I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Are you at least 18?
Yeah, I am.
Question number 2: are you a Bible believer?
I am Jewish, so I believe in the Torah and the Tanakh.
All right, and then question number.
But I have one question for you.
Well, I got two more questions for you, and then you can ask your question.
Oh, yeah,
Question
yeah.
number 3: how much of the Tanakh have you actually read?
Not much actually. That's why I have at least one question. That's it.
All right,
I'm
and
not
then
gonna
and
argue
then
with you.
question number 4. Then we can ask me your question. What pronouns do you go by?
EM.
All right, Ben, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I guess today I'm Dalton, the Tanakh guy. What questions do you have for me?
I want you to explain how the Torah knows, like the verse, like כי עפר אתה ואל עפר תשוב, which means from the dust you are
And to dust
and
you
the
shall
dust you
return.
go. So
Yeah, people have
Yeah.
witnessed that bodies decay. That's all.
no, but how do they know? Like we are made from the same. I don't want to say materials. I don't know actually, but the same thing. We go to the ground to. So
Because
when
that's
we decay,
because what happens when a
we
person
give the same
dies?
That's
stuff
what we eat.
to the
What,
ground.
what happens when a person dies? What do you do to their body?
Yeah, but how do people from 3,000 years ago know that without science?
They had eyes. They can see that people's bodies after they die
Do you see the materials? Do
You see that they
materials in the ground?
decompose into like dust. Like if you any person in ancient Israel who would have buried their dead and put their body, especially in like first century CE Israel,
No,
they
but
would
the first sentence.
They probably see a
continue,
lot more of
continue,
it than we do in the modern age.
yeah, like for example, in first century CE, Jews would have buried their dead in like a necropolis of sorts, and then a year later they would have retrieved their bones and put them in an ossuary box. They would have been very familiar with the fact that bodies decompose and like are reduced to dust. They would have known that you bury people in the dust of the earth. Now people aren't literally made of dust, so the plain meaning of the text isn't accurate.
No, yeah.
But they knew that people there was already, so for the dust to dust you shall return, there was already a pre-existing mythology in the ancient Near East. The Tanakh isn't the first person to make the claim that man was made from like the clay of the earth. You know, in the Tanakh it says that he's called Adam because he's made from Adama, but the book of Genesis isn't the first book to make this claim. The Enuma Elish, which is far older than anything that the Jewish people ever wrote, says that the gods made human beings from the clay of the earth, from the dust of the earth. So that's already a pre-existing myth, because the idea is like it's like human beings are like clay pots that you take the clay and you form them, and you make a human being out of it. And then the fact that you also bury them in the dust of the earth, that's how they get to the conclusion, from the dust you were made, and the dust you shall return. It's because, one, of a pre-existing mythology in the ancient Near East, and two, the fact that human beings get buried in the earth. So that's how they came to that conclusion.
Well, that's fair enough, I guess. Thank you.
All right. Have a good day, I guess, if that's all you had to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah. You too.
Two Jewish guests in a row. Did anyone else see the?
I thought he was going to go the Stardust route.
I did too.
Like the
for a
world
second
made out of
there.
Stardust, or
Yeah, that's just a happy coincidence. Did anyone else watch the Rugrats episode Hanukkah special when they were kids, or is it just me?
I've heard about it. I haven't seen it.
A Maccababy's got to do and a Maccababy's got to do. Full of Sow, or Soel, full of Soel. I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions that I ask everyone, I guess, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, sir.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yeah.
Question number 3, how much of your Bible have you actually read?
Quite a bit.
And then question number 4, what are your pronouns?
He, him, I guess.
All right, full he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I do not believe in the Bible full. Why should I believe the Bible is true?
Sure. So I think even before getting to that question, I think it's more important for me to understand what kind of evidence that you are willing to consider. Because the before conversation, not the previous guest, but the one before that, I think that's like kind of where I want to start. And more so, sorry, the first question I actually want to ask that's describing your position or your view is, are you a positive atheist in the sense that universally, you're saying that there is no God, making a universal claim, or are you just saying I haven't been convinced?
I'm not convinced of a generic God, but I'm absolutely convinced that Yahweh doesn't exist.
Okay, so you're just saying your universal claim would be the God of the Bible or described in the Bible doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, Yahweh doesn't exist. He's a fictional being.
Okay. Can I ask what kind of, I guess, well, first, I guess to start, would you say that there are things that exist outside of your immediate perception?
Yep. I just, in order to believe in them, I would need some sort of evidence, in other words, some sort of proof or whatnot, some sort of data that makes more likely the probability that it's true.
It makes more likely? How would one, all right, so for example, if I ask you.
Let me make this a little easy for you. I don't know what evidence would it take to make me believe in the Bible. That's your job to figure out. Like, you can present to me your evidence. I'll tell you whether or not it's good.
Well, yeah, but again, that's one of those things where it's like I can present you a bunch of evidence. For example, everything that we observe physically is contingent on another thing. So that would stand to reason that, for example, if we're in a closed system.
I don't believe the universe had a definite beginning. If you just want to get here, even if I believed in God, I still wouldn't believe in the Bible.
So you're not
the Bible. I'm not really. I'm not interested in the question of whether or not a God exists. I care about whether or not the claims of the Bible are true.
Oh, then honestly, man, that's what I wanted to talk about was epistemology and worldview. But if you're already kind of there, then that's not I'm more in like,
why don't they ever,
unmoved mover, first cause kind of thing.
Why don't these?
I'm good.
Why don't they ever want to talk about their book? I don't understand. What is it because y'all don't know the Bible?
Just to be clear, Full, you have no evidence for the Bible. You just wanted to prove a deity exists.
Well, because there no. I was going to say because there are better people who could make a better case than I could. I'm more so trying to get you to, hey, like
we can grant you that a deity exists. There, now shoot for the Bible.
Okay, well then I'll tag in whatever person would be better at the actual apologetics of the scripture itself. Cool.
There are no good apologetics.
Whoever's in that's listening wants to do it.
Yeah. So you don't have any.
Well, I'm just saying I'm not the most qualified. So no. In the same way that you're not, a biologist, right? So you wouldn't be the most qualified to talk about amoebas or
if I believed in something, I could give a general argument.
I don't have a degree in the Bible full. I have a high school education and I give them hell attitude. I think that you're more than qualified to talk with the Bible with me.
No, actually, no. I think there are probably better skilled people in here that could do the apologetics better. So I'm gonna leave it to them.
There are no Christians on TikTok who are even if I was talking to someone like Cliff Knechtle,
he's not a good apologist.
I don't know if
He's not gonna-
even if I was talking to William Lane Craig, there are no good Christian apologetics. A Christian apologetics is not actually proving that the Bible is true. It's coming up with the best, like, slightest possibility in order to squeeze in a possible explanation for why the Bible should be true. It's car salesman stuff.
I guess I would
Also,
ask
another
why
question, though.
proving the
If
Bible
you
is
don't
true.
think you have a
what does
good
that-
argument for it?
Hold on,
If
can I
you
ask?
don't think you have a good argument for it, why did you get convinced?
Hold on, can I ask you a question really quick, really fast? Proving the Bible is true. What does that look like to you? Right. So, are you looking for, like, for example,
like demonstrating that Jesus was actually the Messiah, like that he
Jesus is actually the Messiah, or that Jesus was? Because all right? Would you acknowledge that the Jesus of Nazareth, as described in the New Testament scriptures, existed?
I think there was a Jesus of Nazareth. I don't think the Gospels accurately portray anything about him.
Okay. Would you agree that Saint Paul, as described, or Saul before the conversion on the road to Mount, would you accept that he also existed?
I think that St. Paul existed. I don't think what the Acts of the Apostles says about him is true.
Okay, I guess I would ask, what would have been the benefit of the people at the time undergoing persecution to lie? And we have writings
Not
from,
lie.
for example...
No one's lying. Who said that anyone
Okay,
lied?
so was it a shared delusion between them?
Yeah.
Okay, so are there any examples that you can find of with mass delusions?
Yeah.
Like in
the
history or
miracle,
in...
Miracle of the Sun, or the dancing plague.
Yeah, there's tons of
I've
examples.
literally never heard of that. Is that a shared among people of different
Are you not are you
backgrounds
Catholic?
and different... I am.
You
Yeah,
haven't
I'm
heard
Catholic.
you haven't heard the Miracle of the Sun? Well, I guess you would believe in it then.
Is there a different name for it?
Miracle of Fatima.
Also, where does it say?
I have heard of that. Yeah, and
Where-
actually, that's one of the most documented Marian apparition or Marian,
it's a
I guess,
it's a
apparitions ever.
delusion because the sun didn't actually dance in the sky.
It's not a. There was literally atheists there that
And people
wrote about it and
there
said
were-
that it happened.
There were people there who said that nothing happened. And also,
I
if
don't
the sun is
think
dancing
so.
in the sky,
I'd have to look into that.
why doesn't anyone else in the world notice that?
Because it was specific to that area. That was the whole point.
Magic.
That's what?
That was the whole. No, it's not magic. See, but that's why epistemology
Again, we'd
matters
all
so
be
much.
dead.
Because in your epistemic framework, it's impossible for something like that to happen.
Because
In
you have
mine,
no
it
actual
is.
you have no actual evidence in favor of like Jesus resurrecting from the dead.
But
do
what
you?
kind of evidence, brother? Because, for
That's
example,
for
you believe in
that's
things that you
your
don't have
job.
material-
That's your
you
job to
believe in-
figure out. Stop shirking your
It's
homework.
not. It actually.
Stop shirking your
It
homework.
actually isn't.
Stop shirking your homework off onto me. It's your job to figure out what would be convincing for me. Either you have a good argument, or you would have already given it, or you don't, which is why you have to try to find some you're trying to find like what kind of evidence would be good. Just give your evidence, and I'll tell you if it's good or not.
Well, because it's the same issue as that if you, for example, if I ask you to prove to me the weight of the number 7, there's nothing that you can.
I don't believe that.
What's the weight of the number 7?
Numbers,
Prove it.
Numbers
Prove
don't,
it.
Numbers
What's the
don't
weight of the number
exist.
7?
Numbers don't
How long is
exist.
it?
Numbers don't exist.
But you use it.
Numbers don't exist. I'm going to mute you because I'm done
full
yelling.
of the language exists, but in to describe a quantity that actually exists in reality. But I think Quantanaut had a better question, to be honest. I think that Quantanaut's question actually poses a very reasonable yeah. Go ahead,
So, supposedly something convinced you that this was true. What was it that convinced you? And hopefully that's good, a good argument, because I don't want to insult your intelligence. I hope that you're, a smart person. And so if the thing that convinced you, then maybe it'll convince us too.
Say it. Man, I don't know. The smart person comment, I don't know, man. If you looked at my grades right now in college, I would say that what convinced me is that I have senses, and with I can reliably depend on my senses to tell me things about the world.
What was it that convinced you?
Well,
I don't know.
hold on.
That convinced
I don't
you
know
of
if
the
You
Bible.
think you think your senses are reliable?
I think my senses are reliable, yes.
How reliable?
They very much are not.
Well, my senses are reliable enough for me to interact.
But again,
with
this is why we have science, because if we could just vibe it out, then I wouldn't need to do my job.
That's not what
And
I'm,
I wouldn't
that's
have
not what I'm saying.
I wouldn't have learned all about senses and not being reliable in biopsychology.
I'm saying my senses are reliable enough for me to interact with the external world and have reliable or predictable outcomes
What
based on
Do you think your senses
based on
actually
inductive reasoning.
do you
based
think
on
your
inductive
senses
reasoning.
actually are able to detect like a good portion of reality even?
Enough for me to
Well, no,
interact with the
okay,
external world.
I see what he's getting at here.
So, yeah, this is how
it's
you
like
build
the
a-
very foundation of
Yes,
his
thank you.
epistemology. I'm
Yes.
not asking about that. I'm asking about what convinced you of the Bible specifically.
Well, again,
not
well,
like
again,
the fact that you exist.
Stop. And,
Well, no, but I'm
and
saying
stop shirking.
you have-
Stop, and just give us the evidence. I don't care about
Okay.
all this other stuff. Give us the evidence.
Well, you can say you don't care about this other stuff, then it does.
I don't. Give me the evidence. I'm getting real. Like, I don't know why Phil Bros are so insufferable. They hate talking about the Bible, and I'm convinced it's because they don't actually know it, and because they get their asses handed to them in a conversation about the Bible. So full of soul, tell me why I should believe in the Bible. Stop with all this other bullshit. No one cares.
Bro. In order to
Bye.
I'm not even sure he believed it.
I don't know. He didn't give us any evidence. I don't think he actually believed in it. I don't
think he knew the Bible.
I wasn't
Yeah.
given enough evidence to think that he believed it.
Yeah, he wants to full of soul. Exactly. You don't have any evidence, which is really what you were all saying. If you're trying to fish out some other kind of evidence than the kind that we normally would accept for like accepting facts about the world, it's telling me that you don't actually have any evidence for your belief in the Bible. You have some bullshit about like faith and tradition. No one cares about that. So thank you for wasting our time again. Gee whiz. The Creel is the creator, a cruel and merciless evolutionary universe. Yeah, if there is a creator, he'd be very cruel for the system that he created. Phil Bros hate talking about the Bible.
I think the snow is really affecting your audio and video quality. Just FYI.
Yeah, it kind of lagged out for me a bit.
Yeah, you're getting
You're good
audio
right now, though.
and video. No, I've gotten some DMs and stuff that your audio and video have been not in sync intermittently throughout the live.
It's probably my internet. The only thing I can do about that, people, is moving out and getting better internet. I got some super chats, so we'll go ahead and read those then. At Carlos Valdez sent 10, count them, 10, the Bible Guy gift memberships. Carlos, much appreciated, and I hope that 10 of you grasped on to those memberships. Speaking of memberships, I have a new thing now where not this video that's coming out tomorrow, but the next one will have, in the future, all videos which I make, at the end of it, there will be a special credits where the names of all my members will be in the credits, along with the Bible Guy outro song, which is like a power metal song. Really cool. So just so I'm giving you guys the recognition that y'all so rightfully deserve. Thank you so much. At Space Lord 75 with the $1.99, caller is aggressively lazy. I think they were referring to that super chat came out when Mayor was up, and yeah, I mean he just doesn't want to question his leaders. He just wants to accept whatever they tell him, uncritically. No, on this live we ask that you be a bit more critical and think a bit more sharply. Don't accept something just because of authority. Accept it because the data supports it.
It reminded me of the people who like outsource all their thinking to ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm. We debate those people. I've debated at least twice on this channel.
Yep.
Like they won't give me like they'll like, okay, wait 1 second. The answer is no.
Flat earthers do that a lot.
Of course they do.
That was King last live.
Now
He literally said, "But ChatGPT said."
Granted, I use ChatGPT today, but that was for math. I'm not gonna sit here and like do math. ChatGPT is capable of doing the math, but I'm not gonna like.
Quantum. You gotta tell him how cool math is.
I'm cool. Math
Gotta
is cool.
convince them.
It's just a language I don't know is the problem. All right.
Oh, me neither.
At Drew Smith.
Okay.
What's the quote? Whatever your difficulties with math are, I can assure you mine are worse.
At Drew Smith with the $20. Keep up the good work, Dalton. Much appreciated, Drew Smith. Yeah, we are cooking them good today. And then at Garbage Man with the 5 Canuck bucks, the first doctor to suggest washing hands was mocked so hard he died in a mental institution. Humans don't like letting go of beliefs. Is that true? I don't know that story. But if so, that's kind of sad.
I know he was mocked. I didn't know about his death.
Oh, who did a video on that? Oh my God, now it's going to bug me because I'm going to have to find it.
Man, I have to look that up later. That's crazy.
Know someone in the chat because there's got to be more than one, but I'm thinking of one specific one.
That's so sad. But anyways, make sure everyone you're tapping that screen. We got 152 people in the TikTok stream. And how many on the YouTube stream? Where do I go to see? Okay, 336 people in the YouTube stream. That's like, math is hard, like almost 600 people. Sure enough, there are some Christians among you who have what they think is good evidence for why I should believe in the Bible. Call on up and we'll see if that evidence pans out. Keep they have in mind when you see medical professionals not asking. Keep that in mind when you see medical professionals not masking. Oh, God, what's up with my reading today? Gee willikers. That's an old saying. Let's see. Atheist here, says Bradley. Hi. I'm a handologist, and it's true, said Denny. Well, what's an actual name for someone who, like, studies hands for a living?
It's like pediatrologist or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I don't. But
or no, Manny.
Yeah, Ashley says Bible believers request. Listen, here's what if we've had two guests in specific today who just didn't want to give evidence for the Bible, as long as you're a person who wants to give me evidence for the Bible, you can talk and come up here. The only things I just don't accept are people who don't want to talk about the Bible. They think a lot of Christians, especially Philbros, come up here and they think this is a different kind of live. They think this is a philosophy live where they can ask questions about whether or not God in general exists. I don't care about that question, not in the least bit. Because even if I believed in God, I still wouldn't believe in the Bible. I'm the Bible guy. We're here to talk about why the Bible isn't true. And Christians, I don't think you have any good reason for me to believe the Bible is true, especially not when it's chock full of contradictions and scientific and historical inaccuracies and unfulfilled prophecy. You don't have any good reason to believe in the Bible, and neither do I, unless you think otherwise.
And just FYI, Dalton, someone actually said it in the chat, but orthopedics does that, but they specialize in hands. I don't think there's an actual medical like doctorate in hands. I believe they just specialize after orthopedics.
Okay. I am Big Cheese with the $9.99. The martyr apologetic is weak. 1. Christian martyrs not unique. See 10 martyrs in Judaism. Yep. 2. Christian martyrdom, like Vikings dying in battle to go to Valhalla, is why they do it, for glory. Yeah, like, so there are two kinds of martyr apologetics that Christians engage in. One is stronger than the other, but they're both ultimately weak. Just generic martyrs, yeah, there are martyrs in all kinds of religions. The one that Christians like to point to, though, specifically, are martyrs like the apostles. And the argument that Christians make is that, well, the apostles would be in a position to know whether or not what they're saying is true or not. And therefore, if they're willing to die for their beliefs, then it must be true. And this is based off of a presupposition that, well, that the apostles were in a position to know whether or not what they believed was true. But we don't know that. Like, how do you know that for example, Peter didn't have a bereavement hallucination and thus saw his dead rabbi in this hallucination, he wouldn't be in a position to know whether or not what he was dying for was true or false. And of course, we don't just presuppose that the gospel and accounts about Jesus' resurrection are true. In fact, we have good reason to think that they aren't, because one, Paul, whose works come before Jesus, isn't aware of these stories, and two, the stories contradict each other. And also, we don't have good evidence for many of the deaths of the apostles, only Peter, Paul, and James. At Flash Perez with the $19.99. Happy holidays, Dalton. I've been following for a while. Cheers. Well, happy holidays to you, Flash. I literally, like just today, I was watching A Christmas Carol, like the Jim Carrey one, which, you know, when it came out, it was a pretty good movie. It's still good story-wise, but like the CGI is hardcore uncanny valley, like creepy pasta kind of stuff.
That old motion capture.
One of my favorite motion capture.
Same with the Polar Express.
Yeah, the Polar Express is much worse. My favorite motion capture movie, though, from back in the day, which is still good, but it has aged a little bit, is Beowulf. Have you seen that one?
I have not. I was going to mention Monster House.
Oh God, I saw that one last month. Atrocious film. Very creepy. It gives me the iggity-biggities, and not even because of the Monster House concept, but because the animation's just creepy as hell. But Beowulf is really good. It's like it's the story of the ancient warrior Beowulf, and he fights the monster Grendel and a dragon and all kinds of stuff. Angelina Jolie's in it, and high school Dalton with all those hormones was really into those scenes because, well, I'll let you guys go and check out the scenes for yourself to see why. What was that in the comment section? You just proved Catholic elevate tradition before Scripture. Yep, they do. Catholics elevate tradition above Scripture, and Catholics, you know, if you want to talk to the thing about talking to Catholics, it's kind of like talking to Orthodox Jews in the same way, is that you can tell them all day what the Bible actually says, but their tradition is going to override what the Bible actually says. And all their tradition is really just men renegotiating what the Bible said in order to better fit their philosophical preconceptions. We don't have any reason to actually trust any of the tradition of the Catholic Church or of Orthodox Judaism. Ashlyn, do you want to plug the Discord real quick?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've been trying to find this YouTube channel this entire time because I know it's so popular and I used to watch it all the time, and now it's gonna bug me. But yeah. So, anyways, if you like knowledge like I do, clearly I'm looking up video or name of a channel. We've got the thing for you. If you are interested in YouTube modding or just kind of being part of the beta server where we get everything figured out, you can ask questions, ask questions to Duncan. You can ask questions to the community. We've actually got a Google documents of Duncan approved resources, many of which are free. That is probably going to get locked down to subscribers later. So if you want to be first, and it's just going to be a link that doesn't expire because it's just Google Docs. There's also other people that are in the Discord server that might have some masters and PhDs in different fields that will comment on things and leave. I know there's someone with what do they have, a master's or PhD in Greek, and they've posted a lot of sources as well. So there's a lot of benefits to being a part of the beta server, besides just coming in and hanging out. If you would like to be a part of this, you're going to have to DM me on TikTok. So click my name, send me a DM on there, or I'm going to drop my Discord in the chat on YouTube right now, and just send me a DM and I will send you over the link, because we're not going public with this right away. We still have a lot of stuff we would like to do.
Yeah. At Garbage Man again with the 5 Canuck bucks saying, the doctor Ignace Semmelweis called his critics irresponsible murderers. He was beaten in a straitjacket, died of gangrene. Wow. Yeah, that's wild. But that's kind of how these things go, right? Like, anytime someone wants to make any kind of progress in the world, they just get like beaten down by the ignorant majority. Usually religious people. Just saying. Now, let's take a look. If I'm not gonna get any more guests in the box to come up, we might end up ending the life early. So if you're a Christian, I'm gonna keep the line open for another 10 minutes. But
Why don't you open it up to questions?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
Especially that for super chats and YouTube members, if they want to ask questions, I would give them like first priority, since they're spending money on you.
Yeah. So hey, if you're in the TikTok live and you want to come up and you're a friend and you want to talk to me and ask questions, or then request up, or if you're in the YouTube chat and you don't want to come over to TikTok, send your super chats right now with your questions, and we'll spend some time talking about those questions and answering them. I don't mind whenever we have no opposition talking to you beautiful, wonderful, smart people. If anything, it's a nice reprieve from what I usually get. Let's see. Dalton, is this a telethon? What's a telethon? Lathe of Heaven says, you are beautiful and smart too. Much appreciated. Need that little bit of booster every now and then. Yeah, it's my dad's birthday today. They called me for pictures and cake. JT, I'm going to bring up JT. JT, I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions that I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
I'm 45.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
No.
All right, and now I'll skip to question 3 and go to question 4. What are your pronouns?
He, him, and I've read it all.
All right, JT, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. What brings you up to the live?
Well, you let atheists come on when you don't have any Christian guests, so I figured I'd ask a question. The other day I was watching you. We were talking about Numbers 5 and how what is typically thought of as the where the abortions happen from the poisoned water. And you said it wasn't that, and I was just wondering if you can explain that a little bit better, give me a little bit more detail on that, because I've definitely been at fault for using that before.
Yeah, so the trial of the Sota, the adulterous, potentially adulterous woman. For anyone who doesn't know, this is Numbers chapter 5. When there's a woman who is suspected of committing adultery against her husband / master, to be more accurate. The man brings his woman to the tabernacle and they concoct a potion, and if she drinks it, something happens. The thing that a lot of internet atheists like to say, which is not accurate, is that it results in an abortion. But note that the text never actually says that she's a pregnant woman. And it doesn't say that she needs to be pregnant in order for this test to undergo. What it says is that her thigh will shrivel up. And the consensus of scholarship seems to agree that what this is a reference to is that she will become infertile, that her womb shrivels up, so to speak. Not that she miscarries and that she has a baby and that miscarries, but rather that she just simply becomes infertile, like she will never be able to have kids ever again because of what she's done.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you filling me in on that. Have a great one. Love what you do, man.
Absolutely. And also,
JT's an OG, by the way.
Oh, great.
I don't know if that was said. Yeah, JT's been around since before you left for a little bit. JT's, yeah.
Also,
See ya, JT.
Also, we don't want this to be. You definitely don't want this to be a pro-abortion Bible verse, because all that's getting you is that we should force abortions upon unfaithful wives, which is not a good message. But luckily,
I agree totally.
Yeah. Actually, Dan McClellan has a video on this exact Bible passage, and he goes into more detail on like the actual Hebrew and stuff like that, and the meaning of the text and how it's understood. So anyone who wants more information, no, Street House Family, it's not about abortion. The Bible doesn't say anything about abortions, pro or against. It's just silent on the matter. But anyone who wants more information and better studied up on this, because remember, as atheists, we do not want to be like spreading misinformation. We want to be better than our Christian opponents. We want to actually be citing the scholarship correctly. Check out Dan McClellan's video on Numbers 5.
I think too, which is like what a lot of people say, well, if she was pregnant, then it would have forced an abortion. But yeah, I guess, right? Like, I mean, of course, but that's not the entire point. It's more about a shame. And notice that nothing is done to men in this regard as well. So, like, this isn't the focus of the soda ritual, because I've actually looked into this a lot, is definitely not to do anything but say if there's no evidence of adultery. That's like the main thing, is it's looking to shame women. Like, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of this live, after the live's concluded, I'll go and look for the video, and I'll put a link to Dan's video in the description for anyone who wants to go and watch it later.
Really appreciate that, man. I'm going to drop.
Absolutely. Have a good day, JT. All right. I guess we'll move to our next. I'm going to read a super chat real fast, and then we'll move on to Mav Power X. Helping MAGA deconstruct with the $2. GRRM is the Old Testament Messiah. Whores rule. What's GRRM? Guys, y'all can't be using a bunch of... I sound like Justin. Y'all can't be using a bunch of acronyms that I'm not familiar with. I have no idea what GRRM information is about.
I'm trying to figure it out now too. Grim?
I can't think of anything.
Street House Family in the comment section says, no, don't spread false info. Street House Family, the consensus of the scholarship disagrees with you. Numbers chapter 5 is not about abortion. That's misinformation. Be better. Come on, dude. Okay, Mav Power X. I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are.
Can you hear me?
Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes. Can you hear me first?
Yes. Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Okay. Yeah.
Question number 3, how much of the Bible have you actually read?
I haven't read the full Bible, but
I gotta check.
I would say
I gotta check to make sure that there's not a lag going on here, because you seem to be a bit slow to answer. So I'm gonna count. I'm gonna count to 5, and when I get to 4, I want you to immediately say 5. 1, 2, 3, 4,
5.
All right, you got a bit of a lag. I know I can hear that I can hear gravel.
Okay, can you give me?
I can hear gravel on your feet. So request back up.
I'm almost inside. Can you give me like 10 seconds?
Sure. You got Wi-Fi you're gonna hook onto?
Okay. Okay, can you hear me?
All right, let's test to see. Did you turn on the Wi-Fi or something?
I was on data. Yep, go ahead.
All right, let's try the lag test again. I'm gonna count to 5. When I get to 4, you say 5. 1, 2, 3, 4.
5.
All right, that's much better. Okay, Matt Power.
Okay, sweet.
Side note, GRRM is George R.R. Martin. I don't know if you saw,
okay.
saw that.
Oh, George R.R. Martin, author of the Game of Thrones books. Mav, and question number 4, what are your pronouns?
He, him.
All right. Mav, he, him. I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. I do not believe in the Bible. Mav, why should I believe in the Bible?
Okay. I'm actually very open as a Christian. Like, I really don't care. I don't like to get angry when I'm speaking to people. But Um. Anyway, have you been to church?
Yes, I'm an ex-Christian. I used to attend mass multiple times a week.
Okay. Okay, and would you say it didn't benefit you?
But I don't necessarily. I mean, maybe there was the benefit of community, and there's a cathartic nature to confession, for example. But personally, I forgot to take off the. Anyways, but personally, I don't really care about whether or not it's beneficial. I only care about whether or not something's true.
Okay. So I think we might have to go over truth a little bit because I believe in the Bible. I mean, most people believe. A lot of the Bible is very metaphorical. There's a lot of poetic passages like Psalms, Exodus. There's a lot of passages that are very metaphorical. So if you do take them literally, it can come off.
I take things plainly, not literally. So I take into consideration what book am I reading, what is the genre of this book, and then I consider how I should read it. So I read the Bible plainly.
Okay, so what's the difference between plainly and literally?
Well, literally would be like, for example, when it says in the book of Genesis that Judah is a lion in Genesis 49. To be literal would be, that means that one of Jacob's 12 kids was an actual lion. A plainly would be to take into consideration, like, well, who is speaking? Why are they speaking? What is this book about? And in this case, it'd be Jacob speaking symbolically of his son as a lion. Now, when the Bible says that God has a body, or that he isn't all-knowing or something like that, I plainly read it for what it says, and that I take God's descriptions plainly.
Okay.
I have a follow-up question. Do you believe in any supernatural claim in the Bible? Or are we just going to get buried in, like, it's all metaphorical?
Well, no, sure. There are things that I believe there's a lot of things that, for example, let's go with the separation of the Red Sea with Moses when he takes the Israelites out of Egypt. And for that, that actually does happen. That still happens today. You can go to a place just outside Egypt and see the tides, and there's pictures of it right now. You can look it up if you...
You mean the guy that wrote about his own death did that?
Well, hold on.
He's pretty impressive.
Well, hold on. There was multiple people that were writing these passages.
What is this claim about?
So the whole point is that these things, I believe, did happen, just maybe not to the extension that they say. Like I said, it's very poetic when they write about these things.
In the shallow coastal
and so,
areas
if you take it,
it says, I'm reading here, it says that there is a well-documented natural phenomenon that caused temporary water withdrawals in shallow coastal areas near the Red Sea. Doesn't the book of Exodus say that Pharaoh's chariots were drowned? How do you do that in a shallow coastal region?
Well, sure, that's what I mean, as I believe they take it to an extent where you can't take it literally. Now, you can take it...
It sounds like you're just cherry-picking which parts you want to believe and which ones you don't, given the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hold on. Let's go with... Because I don't like to look at anything negatively. You could choose anything to look at it negatively. And so, when you ask why should I believe in the Bible, I believe you should take these poetic passages.
That's not.
And they do talk about ego, and they talk about.
That's not a poetic passage. The Red Sea is not poetry. Poetry would be for example, the Psalms. The Psalms are poetry. There are some measures of poetry within the book of Judges, but the Exodus, and there's even a poem in the book of Exodus, the song sung by the children of Israel as they're leaving Egypt. But the story about Pharaoh drowning in the Red Sea, that's not poetry. That's a narrative.
Sure. So could that have not happened?
And to be clear, not believing is a neutral position, not a negative position.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the default.
Mav, can I do this with the Quran too?
What?
Can I like believe it the way you do when it says something that can't possibly happen? Can I just be like, oh, well, it was.
Well, hold on. I never said it couldn't. Could have those people drowned in those waters? Sure, they could.
No,
In the-
no,
in
no.
the
The
shallow-
Quran. Can I do this thing? Can I do the
Yeah,
same
sure they
thing with
could. Sure they could. There's people that drown in bathtubs. That seems insane, but it still happens.
Okay, no. If can I apply the same use of reading things into the text that aren't there to other religious text to get them to be true?
What am I reading into this text?
That it was
Okay, I have a different way of phrasing that. Do you know what ad hoc means?
No.
It essentially means you're coming up with something after the fact. So it would be one thing if, like, you were reading the Bible and you knew right away when reading it which parts were literal and which parts weren't, and then we went and gathered evidence and we found that, oh yeah, indeed, the literal parts were indeed literal and the metaphorical parts indeed didn't happen.
Okay, I see what you mean.
But you got it backwards. You're looking at the
I
evidence
see what
and then
I
you're
see what you
going
mean.
back to the Bible and going, oh, you're reinterpreting it. That's ad hoc. That's not good
Well,
practice.
not necessarily reinterpreting it. You could look at anything and have a negative mindset and read it
It's not a
and
negative
have
mindset.
a
I just treat the Bible
bad
the way, I treat the Bible the same way I treat every other ancient Near Eastern text.
I do too. So any other ancient years of text could have been. I mean, it's been passed
my
down
point is
by thousands of
deciding
people.
after
So
the fact. Deciding after the fact which parts are metaphorical and which parts aren't is not good practice. That's not a good way to determine what's true and what's not. Because you could do that for literally anything. I could like take the Harry
you
Potter
should be.
book and then
You should be
and then,
skeptical. You should be skeptical about
but,
everything.
Like I can do the exact same line of reasoning with a Harry Potter book and say, oh, it's talking about England. Well, England's real. I can see that. And it talks about Hogwarts. Oh, maybe that part was metaphorical. And, you know, I go back and ad hoc explain each part that isn't actually in reality. That's not a good way to evaluate texts to see if they're true or not.
Well,
what
I'm
you
sure-
want to do is you want to evaluate what's true and what's not in the text, and then go and search in reality to see if it's true or not.
There's
But
nothing.
you got it backwards.
There's
Well,
nothing.
I believe that
there's
it's
nothing-
true. I
there's
believe that
nothing-
these things are true.
There's nothing.
I never said that these things.
No, you don't. You don't think that the seas actually parted and that Pharaoh was drowned.
Yes, I do. I do. It's happening today. They parted. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with that.
No, the whole, all of Pharaoh's chariots, his whole army, drowned. You don't do that in a coastal, like in a coastal. This natural phenomenon would never result in chariots being drowned and a whole army being destroyed.
Well, what else was happening during that? While they were leaving Egypt, while Moses was
that's
guiding
another
them out of
thing.
Egypt.
That's another thing. The Israelites were never enslaved
Right.
in Egypt. We have no evidence of that. Like just one.
They were
myth
never
on top of
Unless
another.
you now would be the time that you say that the entire story is metaphorical.
It's a metaphorical slavery.
No.
Yeah, we have no evidence
So
that the
you're-
Israelites were
what
ever
you're-
enslaved in
And
Egypt.
in the text, by the way, because I'm pulling up the text now, it says the waters forming a wall for them on their right and on their left. So specifically, the text says that it has to be like a wall, and
All right,
this
well, hold on.
wall is not a few inches. A wall is not even a couple feet. A wall is several feet high, Mav.
At least.
Okay,
And
well,
it
hold
wouldn't
on.
be clear to me what that would be a metaphor.
We're getting very
even for, if
technical.
it
It's a
was.
3-on-1, and you guys are all on computers. Hold on for a second. Can we back
I'm
up
not,
a little
by
bit?
the way. I'm doing work.
I'm not. I have my Bible pulled up over here, and I got the chat for YouTube pulled up over here.
Well, hold on. Let's get back into Let's
I'm doing
back
work
out
in
of
the
the
lab.
super specifics.
Yeah, the
Good shit, bro.
the Exodus never even occurred. There was no mass exodus of millions of Jews from Egypt, and the Jewish people were never enslaved in Egypt. As far as the data is concerned,
Okay.
the Israelites were just another
I
tribe of. Do you have any evidence for the Exodus?
Well, I honestly don't feel like going to look it up. But hold on. Can we back it up? Can we back up real quick?
Back it up.
So your
Drop it.
original question.
You don't feel
Okay,
like
we don't gotta
supporting
go
your
that far.
claim?
Well, hold on. I want to back up to the original question. Why should I believe in the Bible?
Why 'cause
Um,
you can't explain what we've asked?
well, guys, it's a 3-on-1, and I'm not on my computer.
Fine, here.
I've
Plus
asked one.
everything's pulled
Fine,
up.
here. I'll.
And I get it. And I get it. I joined. I get it. I joined.
Why? Okay, here. Let me make it. But why should I think Jesus was the Messiah, especially when he didn't fulfill prophecy?
Well, do you believe that?
If you leave the screen, I won't be able to hear you.
Okay. Well, do you believe that Jesus was a real person?
Probably, maybe. I'm on the fence, but I'll assume for this conversation that he did exist. He didn't fulfill prophecy, therefore he can't be the Messiah. That's literally the central claim of the New Testament.
Why don't you think he fulfilled prophecy?
Because I see no examples of him actually doing it. Street House Family says, "Why are you 3-on-1 not okay?" Street House Family, go start your own fucking live then, and you can do 1-on-1.
Yeah, I'm honestly not complaining about that. It's just when it gets super technical with details and stuff, I can't keep up.
Yeah. Anyways,
but
yeah, I don't have any. And all the times the New Testament authors quote the Old Testament and say Jesus fulfilled prophecy. When we go back and actually read those passages, they don't have anything to do with Jesus, and he didn't fulfill anything.
Okay. So let's back up one more time. Your original question is, why should I believe in the Bible? And I want to convince you to believe in the Bible, and I'll tell you why I believe in the Bible. And that is, if you go to church and you're in a positive community.
That's not a good reason.
Come on, dude.
I don't care
Hold
about
on.
the benefits that being part of a community gives you. I get that already as an atheist. I have a community. I care about whether or not the stories in the Bible are true.
Okay.
Did Jesus actually resurrect from the dead?
Well,
was he born of a virgin? All these kind of claims. If those aren't true, then I'm not going to believe in the Bible.
Not only that, the community that you find within Christianity tends to be very punitive, and punitive communities aren't necessarily good for health. It's better than having no community at all. But I wouldn't say that like specifically all religious communities are necessarily healthy for individuals.
I agree with that. Perhaps it's based on individual experience. But if you look at the Bible, it talks a lot about ego and a lot about selfishness, and it talks.
I don't care about.
Hold on.
I don't care. So does Buddhism.
Why not?
So does Buddhism. Buddhism talks about those things too. Why should I believe in the claim that Jesus was the Messiah? Like, actually talk about the claims of the Bible. If I can find the shit you're talking about in other holy texts, then it's not interesting. I can understand these concepts without the Bible. My question is, why should I believe the claims that the Bible makes that, as far as I can tell, don't comport to reality?
Well, when you say it like that, why should you believe the claims? Is because I think it benefits you.
It doesn't.
I think
believing in false things does not benefit me.
The same way that you can go to Buddhism or you can go to Hinduism.
Believing in things that aren't true will not benefit me. Again, I don't care about the benefits. My goal is to believe as many true things as possible and to disbelieve as many false things as possible. So the question is, the claims that the Bible make, are they true or are they false? Was Jesus the Messiah?
Let's go with this. If you are considered a delusional person and something is false, but you're only
answer my
benefiting
question.
from
Answer
it.
my question.
What?
Was Jesus the Messiah?
Yes.
Demonstrate that. Prove it. When you leave the screen, I will not be able to hear you.
I know. I'm trying to do some research.
Aren't you a Christian? Don't you already know why you think Jesus was the Messiah?
Well, just because you're an atheist doesn't mean you know everything about the universe.
Did I ever make that claim? Why are we pivoting to that?
Oh, and I never made the claim that I knew everything about the Bible.
You should at least know
Mav, can
why
you
Jesus
answer
was
the
the
question?
Messiah.
Do you just not know, Mav? You can say I do not know. That is a perfectly respectful answer.
Okay, I'll say no then.
So you don't know why you think Jesus was the Messiah?
No, because I believe somebody voted him in as the Messiah.
Who?
It was a voting system?
Who?
Vote.
When
Wait,
was
what?
when was this vote? What are you talking?
I never
about?
got to vote.
Like, my dude, do you know what the
They
word?
certainly didn't let the women vote.
Do you know what Messiah even means? When I say Jesus was the Messiah, do you know what that phrase means?
Please let him not be using ChatGPT right now. Begging.
Mav, I need you to
Using
respond.
ChatGPT.
Here, I'm going to need you to respond because I got a guest waiting, and if you cannot respond to me, then I'm going to move on.
Okay. Well, I guess Messiah is just another word for it's just a role. Like it's the God, like the chosen one, I guess.
Mav,
I guess.
Mav, you don't know why you believe what you believe. That's fine, but I hope you start to question it.
Yeah. Well, no. I'm going to continue to believe in this
you
because
certainly. So
it has only benefited me.
Messiah is the one that fulfilled prophecy. It had nothing to do with what you're talking about.
Oh.
It has to do
So
with
what
messianic.
I said was false?
Yes, it was absolutely false.
Hold on, though. But I disagree with you guys saying that because I don't know something that I should not believe in it.
Yeah, guess what? You shouldn't believe in things if you don't have good reasons to.
Because it's only benefited.
Okay, here.
And it's helped relationships in your life.
Mav, Mav, this is just simple. You don't care about what's true. I do. We have different standards. I don't think your standard's very good. I want to live in reality. You don't seem to care about that. So, I'm going to move on to someone who might actually know the Bible and might know why they believe what they believe.
Y'all, get out on November 4th and vote for the Messiah. The democracy of Jesus depends on
Can
it.
I throw my hat in the ring? What's the process of this here?
I'll go. Me too. Before we move on to Fabian, I'm going to read one super chat and then we'll talk to you, Fabian. So at divided by time, JG with the $9.99. I used AI to generate music for my lyrics that come from ancient Near Eastern history. I learned from you and Justin. I wrote one about King Omri. He built Israel into a power, yet the Bible says he's evil. Typical. That's true. He's the founder of the Northern House of Israel. I mean, that's because the Old Testament is Judahite propaganda, which is why they paint anyone from the Northern Kingdom as evil. So, Fabian, I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions that I ask all my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
No.
No. All right. Well, that was the last guest. Everyone, thank you for the likes and for the shares. Make sure that you, if you liked this debate, send it out so other people can watch it, get those views up. And if you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do that already. And by the way, guys, I'm almost at 10K followers on TikTok. So if you're not following us already, make sure you do that. If you are a mod for Justin or Ian or Blitz and you're like a respected mod in the community, make sure you message Ashland. We're looking for mods for the YouTube channel, for TikTok, and for Discord.
Yeah, and if you're mod on TikTok and you have a Discord, I would appreciate if y'all come in the channel. That way we can have everyone in one place. So if something happens, you can either message me during the live, or if there's a situation that we need to address y'all with, you're all in one place. If not, that's no big deal. We just would appreciate it.
Let's see who we can raid right now. Also, everyone, if you've really been liking the
Joyful is live.
yeah, Joyful is okay. Y'all, everyone, go over to Joyful, and watch their
JA debates.
JA debates and watch their debates now. Real quick, I'm gonna ask or tell everyone, if you really like this intro song, just know that the intro song for the Bible Guy show was made by our friend Smokelahoma. I haven't given him a chance yet to thank him yet. It's a really good intro song. But anyways, everyone, let Joyful over at JA Debates know that the Bible Guy sent you. And make sure you're following Quantanaut and Ashlyn on TikTok and YouTube if they have YouTube's respectively. And with that, I've been the Bible Guy. Happy holidays, everyone, and remember to keep reading and keep learning, and we'll see you again at 5 p.m. on Saturday. Bye.
Central Time.
Central Time. And that's goodbye to the TikTok people. And now goodbye to you lovely YouTube people. Thank you, everyone, for the super chats and for the memberships. I wouldn't be able to do this for a living if it wasn't for all of y'all's help. I really appreciate this. It's the first time in my life I've ever had a job that I actually like and that I actually have fun in. And I'm hoping that what we're doing here is benefiting the community in some way. Not only that it's entertaining, but that it's actually beneficial to you guys. And I guess I'll see you guys again. Remember, Saturday, 5 p.m.